All right. So the the first thing is you guys found a large treasure chest, and you're unable to unlock it. And since you're going to have downtime, I'm assuming that you guys figure out a way to unlock it. And given the city around you and access to the guilds, I'm just going to make the assumption that you guys figure it out and you manage to get inside the chest. And when you first open the chest, you find that surprisingly, it's full of rocks. However,
Yes.
however, in
Valuable
some
rock.
fine wrapped cloth, you do find the real treasure amongst all the rocks, which is mithril chainmail. It appears to
Ooh.
be a very old set of mithril chainmail that was put aside for whatever reason and was lost. Obviously, you'll need to get this fitted if somebody wants to wear it, which you can do during your downtime. The second thing is that whenever you go up in rank in the guilds, from novice to expert one or expert one to expert two, they actually offer you a magic items that they have access, and you're basically they have a small list that they have available, and everyone gets to pick one item, and if somebody takes an item, obviously it's gone, so you'll have to discuss amongst yourselves as far as what's available. And in the Roll20 chat, I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and put the list in there. So give me a moment to add that, and then you guys can decide amongst yourselves which item goes to. And these are all items that you can look up in Roll20. The only caveat is if something happens on a dawn, once per dawn or once per day, it's once per long rest.
Oh, speaking of,
Oh,
I'm
we'll get to
assuming that
your
it's
thing
most
in a
likely.
yeah, we'll get to you in a minute. There's something else for you,
I
but
apologize.
right, but this
Oh,
is
okay.
that's one thing at a time.
All right. Sorry.
No problem. All right, so there are more than 6 items in the list, but each person only gets one, and once you pick it, it's gone. And as for your thing, Ragu, you did discuss with Gimbal the idea of procuring a separate item.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, he was unable to comply, but he does appreciate everything you've done for him, and he knows you're going on a trip. So what he does instead is he gives you 6 potions of healing on the house, basically in
Okay.
exchange for all the things you've done for him.
Gotcha. All right. The thing I was going to say though was that wand of fireballs that increases with power with the user. After doing research, I found out that my experiment wasn't going to work. My idea was to have Char the owl have the wand and be able to fly up ahead of us and then carpet bomb the area before we run in. But familiars can't use magic weapons.
Right.
So I thought maybe Galen or Devok would be most appropriate to take this wand because I'm a up close fighter.
Fair enough. Yep. Go ahead. You guys can decide who you want to take it.
Say, wait, sorry, I missed that. I was distracted. What? Take what?
The fireballs.
The
Oh,
that wand of
oh,
fireballs.
oh. Got it. I don't need that. Yeah, that's probably not for me.
I was going to say either Galen or Devot because you're the two, archery type far back fighters. Myself and Ire are both like right there in the middle of combat, so
Yeah,
we're
I'm
like
not
right
gonna.
up
I'm
in
not gonna
front.
need that.
Yeah, and then Oreo and Pico, they dance in and out of combat. So I figured either Galen or Devok, since you stand back and launch magic, that one of you should have the wand of fireball. But
One thing I would I
um,
would suggest when you're thinking about this is, or at least right now, it's only once per long rest, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a fireball, which is a lot of damage, and it's an area of effect.
mhm.
So it's a good, oh crap, we're in trouble weapon to use. So I would suggest that somebody have it available.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Yes,
The question
because
I
I
had
still have it. Go ahead.
was actually for you, Jeremy. Am I allowed to use my metamagic abilities on spell casts from a wand, or only spells that I cast myself?
That is a very good question that I do
Because if
not
I
have
can
the
use
answer for.
metamagic, all right, fair enough. Don't worry then. Because yeah, Brosnan, if you don't mind, if I can use metamagic on it, I would really like to have that wand.
Okay.
If not, it can
Actually,
honestly
I
just go over.
do not know if last campaign's rules apply to this campaign. Jeremy?
Some of them do. Which rule are you talking about in
Um,
particular?
the, specifically, the rule I was talking about was Nico could make magic items, but he could not meta magic his items to make them work faster. However, he could use his sorcery points to quicken spell something he was casting out of a magic item, but he couldn't put it in the magic item itself. So from last campaign, if Nico had that wand of fireballs, he could use meta magic to quicken spell it. But he couldn't put quicken spell into the magic item, if that's the rule that you were looking for there,
Right.
and if that's still transferring from last campaign to this one, because that's just the last campaign's rule.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's super clear cut. So for the time being, unless it turns out to be totally broken, I'll say that if you're casting a spell from an item, that you can use your meta magic on it.
Okay.
Jeremy, quick question. Does the Ring of Mind shielding come preloaded with a soul, or does it have no soul in it?
I don't think it does. Let me double check here real quick. Yeah, it does not have a soul. The idea
All right.
is that if you die while wearing it, your soul will enter.
Right, this doesn't seem like much use for me to be in a soul. I thought maybe it'd be kind of cool if there was some wise, mage or something in the ring that I could ask questions to or something. But
Yeah, so no, there's no soul in it, but it is a good way if you die permanently, it's a good way of holding on to your soul. If that sounds interesting. If not, then the main effect is that
yeah, you
you're
can't
immune
even thought.
to magic for reading thoughts and all that, like it says.
Yep.
Mm, I feel like I would want the headband of intellect, but my int is already
No.
16 before leveling up. I don't know if we get like another thing. I don't know if it's worth using. So I think
Yeah, I
either
was thinking about actually taking it because it's a big leap for me from 10.
for me it'd only be 3.
Mm.
I don't think it's worth me taking, but none of the other ones seem that useful for me either.
Ring of Mind shielding, I feel like is useful for anyone really in
That's
general.
the
It's
one I
really
was
good.
looking at the most.
Yeah.
Because
Also, Eyes of Minute Seeing are also really, really good.
Let me look up all these things.
If you have good investigation already, then I would say Eyes of Minute Seeing is super powerful.
I do have good investigation, but like we already get advantage if someone else just helps me.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't really do anything in that case, unless I'm alone.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, although I might argue that similar to how a magnifying glass allows somebody to see details that they just can't see otherwise, there might be, probably rare, but there might be situations where you could see something through eyes of minute seeing that you just wouldn't get a roll for normally.
Yeah.
Anyway, while everybody is going through the list and you guys are kind of thinking about what you want, one thing, one thing that was changed slightly is that you're given 2 weeks of downtime instead of one. So that basically means you get, for your downtime activities, you get to do one for 1 week and then another for the second. And the reason for this is that you need 1 week to train to become your experts, but you also basically get an extra week to help you prepare for the expedition.
Awesome.
I might just take the Ring of Mind Shielding.
If you want the headband of intellect, the cloak of protection is also really good for me. So it's not like I need.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, is 3 intellect a big deal? I feel the thing is, it'll become bad later on.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't have much longevity to it.
I was going to say, Devok, it might actually help you the most because being a wizard or an intellect caster, it would give you the highest bonuses on all your spells.
Yeah, but it only gives me 3 int before I level up. So when I level
What's your
up
int right now?
16.
So you'd have an intelligence of 19.
Yeah. Versus if I were to take it, he'd go from 10 to 19. You know what I'm saying?
But
What's
he'd
more
go from
valuable for him?
Paladin. Okay, I get it. The thing of intellect actually makes it an automatic 19.
Yeah, it sets you to 19.
Okay.
And you can't go above 19, which I will eventually. So it would become useless eventually.
All right. Well, while you're continuing to think, another correction is that last time I gave everybody 20 platinum and 20 silvers for completing the mission. That was actually wrong. It was supposed to be 20 platinum and 20 gold. So everybody go ahead and subtract 20 silver and add 20 gold to your money.
Okay.
So you said subtract 20 silver and add 20 gold?
That's correct.
Got it.
Because you were supposed to get 400 silvers as your per person, and instead I gave you 220 for some reason.
Well, I could temporarily have the headband of intellect until it becomes useless. If you wanted to take the cloak of protection.
Yeah, that's fine. That works fine with me. Int is not like a crazy good stat for me. I don't need int.
Exactly. Yeah, I just don't see how the other things would be all that helpful for me.
Okay.
Other than the cloak of protection, those are like the only 2 useful ones for me.
All right. Has everybody decided on what they're going to take?
What's been taken so far?
Just the gauntlets of ogre power, I think. Regular took.
Yeah, I asked, and Devok said sure, but nobody else replied.
That was the other item I was thinking about taking, but the cloak of protection, like I said, is always a good fallback for me, so I'm fine with you taking it.
One thing I might suggest is the Javelin of Lightning only has its high hitter once per long rest, but the rest of the time it's still a javelin and it's still a magic weapon. So if you're attacking things where you need to hit with a magic weapon, it'll work. All right. Well, as you're looking, has everybody finished leveling their character to level 3?
No, I have not.
I can't.
Not quite.
Thing. I keep looking, but I can't find it anywhere. I forget where you.
Who is going with?
Oh, it's not a
No, I can't
character
find the link
answer
yet.
yet, actually. Okay.
Who's going with the Ring of Mind Shielding?
I was actually thinking about that one just because I have a high charisma and people knowing what I'm thinking and whether I'm lying would be kind of important. But I don't need it. I don't honestly. I'm not super set on any one thing, but I was thinking about that one.
Anyway, Brosnan, just under I, type character advancement.
Okay.
And that should tell you how to get through there. Also, for your class, you'll type in your class and see what specific things they gain as well.
Wasn't there another thing like on the website that you used?
There was one telling you what the experience thresholds are and what the ranks are, but I don't think that you need that right now.
I remember there being a guide on how to level up.
I don't think I put together a level up guide. I think it was for creating the character. Let me double
sure?
check.
I could have sworn there was one.
Because there is this. There's this, but that's creating the character. Yep, that was it.
Those just bring me to the login screen, so I don't know what that is.
Oh, my bad. I thought there would be links.
Alright, I'm gonna roll my health actually. Let's just roll my hit dice twice, right?
Yes.
Or you can pick the standard amount.
Well, it worked so well for me last time, so might as well try it out.
I'd like to roll as well.
Fair enough. So you roll twice and take the higher of the two.
Nice.
All right, check it out, Joel. Check it out.
I gotta stop doing this.
No, dude, it's fine. Watch this. This is how a real man rolls for health.
Okay, I'm
Where's
watching.
my hit dice? Oh, first try. I didn't
What
even
the
need the second one.
hell, dude? That's so not okay.
I'm just better at the game than you. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Nah, you're right.
But anyway, Brosnan, I don't think those links are going to be useful. So you want to go through the character advancement. So you have an extra hit die, and at certain levels, your proficiency bonus will go up, but that's not this level. In addition, if you search for your class, you can see whatever your class gains.
Okay. I could have sworn there was something though. I remember using it. There was like a bunch of steps. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm a little lost on the leveling, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. Oh, I found something.
Jeremy,
There's a little chart on D&D Beyond, Brosnan, that tells you what you get at each level.
Can you link it?
Yeah, link that.
Sure,
shit.
I mean mine is for Paladin, but here I think if you just no, I put it in the Discord. I'm pretty sure if you just change it to your class in the hyperlink, it'll put it to your own class.
Tyler, do you have something you needed to say?
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask, this amulet of proof against detection and location, does that work with like magical detection traps too? Like you're trying to sneak by somewhere and it's magically warded? Or does it only work for just if someone's actively trying to scry you?
I believe it's against scrying magic. Let me double check here. You are hidden from divination magic. So basically, if it's magical scrying sensors, then it'll protect you, assuming they're using divination. But if it's using something else, like some sort of sight-based thing or something like that, then it won't protect you. So it'll tend to be things. Yeah, it is basically scrying type things, or other divination magic.
Okay, I didn't know if that would help with like sneaky stuff.
It might, but it's going to depend on the situation.
Okay. Just a thought, because as far as I know, not everybody's chosen stuff yet, so I was just looking.
Good point. And is there anybody who has not chosen a magic item yet?
I'm mainly waiting for everybody to decide, and I'll pick whatever's left.
I'm kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, me too.
Okay, so has anybody
That's why I
actually
was
picked
looking
one?
to see what would
Yeah.
If
That's why I
nobody
was
Yeah.
trying
wants
to see what
Cloak
would
of
fit
Protection,
best.
I can take Cloak of Protection. For me, the only two that are really good for me are Cloak of Protection and the Gauntlets. But Regular wants
I
to
think
go.
you should count the cloak of protection as being yours.
Yeah, I'll count it as mine.
All right.
And I was gonna say that the bracers of archery or the protection against detection location both would be really good for our sneaky our sneaky party member.
Okay. So
I
the
haven't decided. Just let people decide first, and I'll go after.
Okay.
all right. So the gauntlets of ogre power and the cloak of protection are both spoken for. So I would suggest somebody else pick something, and because people are waiting, don't worry about what they want. Just pick what you want. So who's next? Who wants to pick a magic item?
All right. I'll take the Ring of Mind Shielding.
Okay. All right, so that's half the party down. So let's see. Ire picked something. Oreo's waiting. So Pico, what do you want?
I really don't know.
Okay, Devok, what do you want?
And of intellect headband.
Say that again.
The headband.
Okay. The headband of intellect. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that leaves two items. Oreo, is it sufficiently trimmed down enough for you to pick something?
I guess I not. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with another decision a long time ago. I'm just gonna pick something which I still don't like, but whatever. Braces of archery. There you go.
All right.
Was there anything else on that list you liked?
What about the proof against detection and location? That sounds useful for you.
I don't really care for it, to be honest. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's all good. I've already made my decision. I'm good.
Okay. Well, you have used your crossbow before, so it sounds like it's something you might get use out of.
Exactly.
All right. So that leaves you, Pico. Everybody else has decided. In the chat at the bottom is the list of things that have been picked. And I should probably put the things that have not been picked.
I guess I'll take the eyes of minute seeing.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, so the magic items are taken care of. Currently, Ire and Pico, Devok, you're leveling, right?
Yeah.
While they're leveling, you have 2 weeks of downtime. What is everybody else doing during their downtime? But one thing to keep in mind before you start is rations are going to be sold in weeks rather than days. So a ration box, which will last you a week, will cost you 20 silver and weigh 7 pounds. And then a water barrel, which will last for a week, will cost 10 silver and weigh 50 pounds. So if you buy extra rations outside of the week you already have, then that's what it will cost. So who wants to do their downtime first? We'll start with
I'll
Pico.
pick.
Oh, sorry, Oreo, you were going to do it first? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to get out of the way. So in the first week, because it would be official that they all leveled up in that week, right?
You level up at the end of the long rest.
At the end. Okay, well, I'll just say for thematic purposes that um, during the days leading up to the long rest, especially after Devok's little park adventure, you started to see a couple things kind of a little weird. So you guys wouldn't have seen it as obviously, but Devok, when you came home with a bunch of skeletons, she probably saw a bunch of ghosts around it. Just by chance. No big deal. Um,
Big deal.
and so because of that, she started to kind of get in tune with that more, and therefore had learned that one of those ghosts happened to know about herbalism as a proficiency. And she learned that throughout the course of her first week or so. So for that first week, I want to be able to make potions, healing potions.
Okay.
You sure that's not a thinly disguised excuse to start getting addicted to the catnip?
Maybe, I don't know. Um, so now, as far as I understand, because this is my first time doing this, I had talked to Tyler and about this before, but um, making a healing potion is half the cost, and then because I have the foraging skill, I can narrow that down to I think another quarter or another half, I
Yeah,
believe.
another half, but you have to
So
make a basically a skill check using your herbalism kit with a DC in this area would probably be a DC of 13. But you're
okay,
spending you're potentially spending multiple days doing it, so that would probably be reduced down to a DC of 10.
okay. So just to be clear, because I was under the understanding I can make up to potentially 3 potions during the course of a week. Is that so
So
it's
it's
three
it's
checks?
technically 2, and the reason it's 2 is that if you take a short rest or in a long rest, in the original system, it was 2 hours out of the 8 that you can spend doing things. You expand that out to a week or to a week long rest, then that's 40 hours. So that's 5 days.
Got it.
So since it takes 2 days to brew a potion, it takes 4 days to brew two, and there's not enough time to take a long rest if you do that third one. However,
I
if
see.
you're not taking a long rest, if you're just doing downtime, then you can do 3. So what you can do then is on your first long rest, you can do something else, and on your second week of downtime, then you can brew 3 if you wanted to do it that way. Does that make
And I
sense?
still don't lose out on an activity for that so-called second week when I'm just moving it up to the first week.
Well, what you'd be doing is you'd be doing the brewing as your activity for the second week, and then doing what you planned on doing originally in your first week. You'd be swapping it around.
Right, but that's my point. So I still get my 2 activities, so to speak, for the 2 weeks. It's just the changing the order of it.
Exactly. You're doing the brewing as one of your activities, and then your other activity you haven't decided yet, as far as I know.
Okay. So in that case, then, as far as the second week, my idea was to just continue my training on tailing. So I'll do that, I guess, on the first week,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I'll do the potion making on the second week. So we'll say that maybe that whole first week I was having a good long chat with the ghost to figure out all of that proficiency stuff, so that way I had enough to potentially make 3
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
second week.
So,
Okay.
okay, so in the first week, you do your tailing training in addition to your level training. So that costs you 125 silvers. And
Right.
then during the second week, you're making 2 or 3 potions.
I want to make 3, which I believe with the math I was making was going to come down to 37.5 gold. If
Um,
I did it with the foraging kit. I mean, not foraging kit, the foraging skill.
Unfortunately, the potions are normally 500 silvers. So the cost in materials is 250 normally. And then if you're cutting that in half again, based on the foraging, then it becomes 125. So it's 125 per potion.
Okay, so 125 silver?
Yes.
Let me double check the bank account first.
Plus you're spending 125 for your training, so it'd be 125 times 4 if you're going to do all those things, which is 500.
Okay, and just to be clear, the total that we have on our sheet is based off silver, right?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm good. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll do all of it. That's
So
fine.
subtract off 500 silver then, mark 1 week of training for tailing, and add 3 healing potions to your sheet, and that'll finish you off.
I don't need to roll though. I thought we established I needed to roll for the checks.
Oh, you do need for the herbalism. You do need to roll. Sorry about that. Go ahead and do your roll.
Yeah. Okay. So this is for the first one. Uh,
Yeah. No.
second one.
You only need to do the. You only need to do the one roll because I'm assuming you're taking the time and you're gathering for all three during the week, so you're good. So yeah,
Okay.
you made it. You set out to you've accomplished everything you set out to.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Sorry about that. I'm stumbling today.
No, it's all good. All right. Sweet. So I'm done for the 2 weeks.
All right, and you leveled up, so you're good. All right, so who's next?
Yep.
If nobody says anything, I'm going to pick somebody. So Pico, what are you doing during your 2 downtimes?
I guess I'm gonna go ahead and continue training.
During both of them?
Yeah.
All right, so then that's 125 times 2, or 250 silver. Okay. So that's Oreo, and that's Pico. And so, Devok, what do you do during your downtime?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to add spell slots and
Okay,
stuff.
yeah, I'll leave you to it then. Ragu, what are you going to do during your downtime?
Okay, you said we got 2 weeks of downtime coming?
That's correct.
All right, so if I go to training, I can get 2 dots on skill
If
towards a
you're
skill?
going to spend 250 silver total, then yes.
Okay, I would like to do that. And I had an oddball question. That mithril armor that nobody said anything about, um, can you add your dex bonus to it since it's lightweight and stuff, or does it still not get the dex bonus?
It still doesn't get the dex bonus, I believe, but it does negate the disadvantage on stealth rolls, and it does reduce the weight.
All right. Okay. I think I should stick with my armor, but I'm pretty sure there's 1 or 2 people out there that would be really good for.
Yeah, the question is with your armor. So you're saying with your dex bonus, your current armor is still better?
Yeah, because my armor class is 16, because my dex is +2, and I looked it up. Chain armor is a 16, but it doesn't give me any dex whatsoever. So as soon as I get my dex bonus up to +3, then it'd be wasted.
Well,
So
here's a
it'd
question.
literally be the same armor class.
Fair enough.
What kind of mithril armor is it? My understanding
Chain.
is it's just a.
Chainmail.
All right.
Yeah, that
It
is
was
specified.
chainmail, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is chainmail.
Okay. Yeah, it's armor class of 16, but you do not add dex bonus to it. And there's a couple of guys out there, I'm pretty sure, unless you're wearing something better.
Okay.
And there's no strength requirement minimum for it.
That's right.
Devok, what's your armor AC currently?
18?
But I think you have a shield, right?
Yeah.
So that's 18 with a shield.
All right, and you have
Then-
disadvantage on stealth because you're wearing heavy armor, aren't you? Sorry, say that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually that would work well for you. It would get rid of the strength requirement, and you would lose your disadvantage on stealth because it's quiet. And then with your shield, it would still be 18.
What? Wait, what are we talking about? What would work well?
Mithril
Mithril
chainmail.
chainmail.
Okay.
It keeps you at the same AC, but you don't have disadvantage on stealth anymore.
But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to change the total number of spell slots I have. I cannot figure it out.
Oh, that's easy.
Now,
I know
are
how to
you
do
trying?
that.
Now, does it? If you look at the spells page, does it show you your maximum slots? Like on mine, it says 4/4 slots. What does it say right now?
3.
Oh, have you actually? Oh, here's.
That's
yeah,
actually
here's why. Yeah, okay, I get it. Let me magic caster. You're level 3 now. And spells. That fixed it. Okay, I fixed it for you.
Wait, is he the same class all the way through?
No, he's
No.
not. So that's why the spell. You had to go to options and change your spellcaster level, and then that fixes your spell slots because it doesn't. It's not adding everything together.
Well, if the multi-class is added properly, that should work automatically. So he should be 2 in his main class and then 1 in the other.
Yeah.
I think you can go to options to add the second class.
Second class, level 2. Yeah, it's there.
I just changed it, like just now.
So go back to Okay, so then on the main page, then let's try changing that main class back to level 1.
Oh yeah, it's 1 and 2.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you should be good now. Is that where you were stuck?
I guess so. I don't know how many
Yeah,
spells.
4 slots on.
Yeah, I see you have 2 level 2 slots now.
And you said
Wait,
you're a
I
level
should
2
have it.
wizard.
I'm only level 2 wizard. I'm level 3.
Yeah, but you get the spell slots based on the total. It's just you don't get spells that go in there yet.
Let me see. I'm looking up spell casting for you right now.
A multi-class second level wizard will have 3 first level spell slots, and that's it. Because I'm a multi-class second level wizard, first level fighter.
I'm also a first level grave cleric, which is also a caster.
Okay, those should be on there as well then.
Yeah, he's got his slots. We just got to figure out how many spells he can have. Each time you gain a wizard level, you can add 2 wizard spells of your choice to your spell book for free. Each of these spells must be a level for which you have spell slots as shown on the wizard table.
Which means theoretically you should have 8 wizard spells, and then your clerical spells you can switch out at any point.
Okay. So does that clarify things for you, Devok?
Yeah, I'm just choosing spells now.
Okay. And Ire, how's your character level up going?
I'm just about done.
Okay.
I think
so-
I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything.
Fair enough. While you go through that, Galen, what are you doing during your long rest?
I had a question actually.
Okay.
Do we have enough time to learn a new specialization in a skill? Or not enough time for that?
You only have half the time to get halfway towards that.
Yeah, the way it works is you can spend a week training in either a
Yeah.
main skill or a specialization. And then if you look on your character sheet, under the training section, there's 4 dots, and each week you can do one of those dots. So if you want to spend a week training or 2 weeks training, you can fill in 2 of those dots, and it'll cost you 250 silver total.
Where's the training section?
Let's see. Go ahead and click the No, wait. What am I brain? Yeah, go ahead and click the features tab, the second one over, and then kind of almost halfway down the middle column, a little further than that, there's a section called training with 4 dots there. It's just above the additional notes thing at the bottom of the middle column.
I see it. Yeah.
Now,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
necessarily get all your long rests in civilization. So if you want to put away 2 toward training, that can make sense, even if you don't get access to it. You're banking on the future. Is that what you're going to do, or are you going to
Yeah,
do something
I think-
else?
Yeah, I think I will. I will do some training there then.
Okay, so where it says skill on that sheet, just put whatever skill you're training, and then put 2 dots and mark off 250 silver.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, sorry, I had one more question about that. I'm a little confused. I could be doing a completely new skill to like make it so that I'm proficient in it, or could I also be doing, those special skills? that we
Either
have?
way, if you're doing a specialization, you have to spend 4 weeks of training on it, or to get a base skill, you do 4 weeks of training. You have to pick which of those you want to do.
Okay.
Which is
Cool.
true, but to be clear, to get a specialization, you have to have the base skill, proficiency in the base skill already.
Yeah. Yep. I understand that part. Cool. I was just wondering about that.
Okay, that takes care of Galen then. And Ira, you said you were nearing completion of your character,
Yeah,
right?
I think I'm done. Yeah, I think I got everything.
So what are you going to do during your long rest?
Okay, downtime.
You got 2 weeks of downtime.
Yeah, definitely going to spend some time in the church doing a religious service. Maybe
Okay.
I can.
You can do that during your first one then. So go ahead and make a roll. That's going to be a religion or a persuasion check. All right. So with an 18, you earn 1 favor.
Nice.
And
All
in
right.
that document, you can read and see what you can get with that.
Uh huh.
So that's your
Yeah.
first week. What are you going to do with your second one?
I'll just spend I'll spend my second week there too. Maybe I can get another favor.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Nice. I think
You
that
do
does it.
you do gain another favor. So you have 2 favors. You can have up to 1 plus your character's charisma modifier. So what's your character's charisma modifier?
2, so I can have 3.
Okay, fair enough. All right, that takes care of Ire. And Davak, how are you doing on your character?
Just copy and pasting the spells. But yeah, I was thinking for the week, or for the downtime. Sorry, last time I started like a crime thing, I think. So yeah, so I have to move on that because yeah. Last downtime, I spent a week gathering information.
Okay.
And now I have to like do something. I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're trying to commit a crime here.
Yeah.
All righty.
Crime.
Typical Sudaga. Of course, the Sudaga is committing crime.
So the question is, what kind of crime are you trying to commit? Are you trying to commit a robbery with against a struggling merchant? Are you trying to rob a prosperous merchant, a noble, or are you going after the top, one of the richest people in town?
Please don't do.
The prosperous merchant.
All right. That is a DC of 15.
So before I roll that, I wanted to point out this spell. 1 second. That you probably before. I planned on using that. That's the reason I chose crime.
Okay. So the question, okay, so that's good. I think that will probably move you to the next easier DC. So instead of a 15, it would be a 10. Um, so which skill are you going to use? So you're going to use stealth, thieves' tools, investigation, perception, or deception.
Can you say them again?
Stealth, thieves' tools, investigation, perception, or deception.
I'll use investigation.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll.
Oh boy.
Alrighty. So you go to commit a crime. Wait. Two checks. Partial success.
Yeah, and you had to make a stealth check and then a thieves' tools check and then one of his choice of investigation.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So you got your investigation, which you failed. So you either have to make a stealth check, or you have to make both a stealth check and a thieves' tools check.
A thieves' tools option.
I see. You do not have thieves' tools, so you're going to break in. Do you have another option? You make your stealth. What other option can you think of for your character in order to be able to get through locked doors or otherwise get into a secure building?
I didn't think that's what I was doing, but I have no idea. I don't think I have anything like that. I imagined by thievery, I am inspecting like an item that a merchant has or something, and then suddenly it's invisible, and
Okay, go ahead and make a deception check then. It's your second check.
action. Oh boy, that is not good. Okay, I barely made it.
Okay, so you succeeded. You failed at one of your rolls. You succeeded at two, and that means that it was a partial success. So as you were, as you were trying to find a valuable item to make invisible and to run off with, you you notice that the merchant, was paying too much attention, and he noticed you about to take that item. So you instead went to find a cheaper item, and so you took off with that, and so you managed to escape, and you have an item worth 500 silvers. Unfortunately, it in order to actually you did the investigation last time. So yes, 500 silver. So you have an item that you stole from the merchant. It's not a very useful item to you. It's like a silver statue or something along those lines. What are you going to do with this item? You know what it's worth. You know it's worth 500 silvers. So what are you going to do with it?
Um, is there like a merchant that might buy this on the other side of town?
Okay, so you go looking around the other side of town for a merchant. So go ahead and give me an investigation check to see if you can find a merchant that is unlikely to have connections with the first prosperous merchant.
Why?
All right, so you go across town and you find a merchant, and you don't know anything about him, but the store looks nice. So what do you do?
Um, that is not a good roll. I don't know that in game. I guess I try and sell it, even though I really shouldn't.
Okay, so you go up to the merchant, and so you ask him. You offer to sell this piece of artwork, and he says, "Can I examine it for sir, before I need to verify its authenticity?"
Are you gonna verify its authenticity?
Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
look at the materials and make sure that it really is this silver statue, and a lot of its value is because of the actual form and the rarity. And I'm also going to check and see who the artist was.
Okay. Hmm. I think I'll actually hang on to this. However, what are you selling?
Oh, and he points around, and you see there's several paintings. You see that there's other vaguely similar statues. And in fact, as you're looking around, it's dawning on you that the wares this guy is selling is very similar to the wares of the merchant that you just stole this from.
I see. Okay, I say. Well, that's all very cool and all, but I have to get going. See ya. I leave.
All right, you leave. So you still have this 500 silver statue that it weighs probably about a pound. If you wanted to add it to your inventory. So are you going to continue searching for somewhere to sell it, or are you done for now?
No, figure that out later.
Okay, so that was your first week of downtime. What are you doing for your second week of downtime?
Not that again. Let's see. I guess I'll just train.
All right, it'll cost you 125 to train. So which skill are you going to train in?
Let's see. What counts as a skill again?
So basically,
Oh, any skill. Okay, gotcha.
okay.
I'll train in investigation.
Do you already have investigation?
Yeah, but I don't. It's not like a proficient skill.
Okay, so what you do instead is you want to train in one of the specializations. So let me look those up for you.
Okay.
Sorry, this is being a little slow. Skills. Open. Anyway, so go ahead and look through there, and you can see all the specializations. And if you search for investigation, you can see the various specializations you can get under that.
Yeah.
And so you can pick one of those, or you can pick another skill that you don't have, or another specialization under a skill you do have, but you don't have that specialization.
Do cryptography.
Okay. And so that'll cost you 125 silvers to get that training. So go ahead and mark that off. And I think that concludes Tavok. All right. So before we continue, you've all basically been training hard in order to gain the rank of Expert 1 in your guilds and in your classes. So Galen, can you kind of describe what you did during that training? And maybe any events that stood out as being particularly noteworthy or difficult?
Uh, yes, once I fully decide which specialization I'm choosing.
I got a quick question. When in the 2 weeks did the Nexus Guild give us these items?
Probably at the beginning of the 2 week period.
Okay.
Anyway, Galen, this is for your class level up, not for your skill training. So
Understand.
as you're learning the ways of your class, is there anything that happened that stood out that was especially memorable? We'll go back. If you don't have anything in
I
mind,
don't.
we'll go back
Not
to it.
really. No, I'm not really sure what you're trying to get at there either.
It was like what you did last time. You trained, you gained a new level, plateau of power. What happened during that period? Is there anything that happened with your character? Any special events or anything there that stood out?
So is this like a way for me to talk about the upgrades I made to the character, or is this more of a role-playing type
It's more of a
deal?
role-playing thing. It's your character's grown. What happened during that period?
I think I spent a lot of my time in the which is it? The with the temple as well, because a lot of the things I was training were my more clerical sides, even though I was training with the other sorcerers. And I began to realize that I'm very different from the sorcerers around me, and that I don't share similar abilities to them.
Okay. Cool. And before I move on, don't forget to increase your hit points if you haven't already, and to put yourself at max.
Yeah, I increased them, and I think they are at max.
It says 11 to 15 on my screen, so you probably want
My
to
bad.
put that up.
You
There
have
we go.
15 hit points?
Shut up, dude.
I gained 13 this level.
Maybe you have.
All right. Oreo, was there as you were learning to be a phantom, was there any specific special event or anything that stood out during that training?
I think the fact that she can see and talk to ghosts is a pretty eventful thing, but that's about as much as I thought about it.
Okay. Fair enough.
And also, if you guys haven't done it, add your final fate point to the list that you've got on the main sheet too, by the way. For
Wait, what
those
now?
that haven't already done it, the fate point. We've got.
Oh yes, we should all have 3 full fate points in case we die.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh.
As a
big
reminder,
move.
you can spend 1 fate point to re-roll a roll, or to gain advantage on a roll. You can spend 2 fate points that if you're knocked to less than 1 health point, that you're at 1 hit point instead. And you can use that to avoid annihilation.
Cool.
All right, Davok, as you were learning the ways of the dead and of necromancy. Is there any event that stood out for you?
Is there? Hold on. It depends on if I get that spell. I don't know if I will yet. The one I linked in Discord. Ignore the classes thing, by the way. That we're not using that class. But I don't know. I'd say it's a fairly normal, session of raising the dead, I guess.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that tells you something about your
When you
character.
sever your own hand, you're actually walking around with a stump. Then is that what you're getting at?
who's that? The question
That's
is,
what it says. You sever a
What
hand
the
from your
hell?
body. You cut off your left hand and grant it sentience, so it runs around like Thing. But now, from that point on, you have a stump, a left-handed stump. Is that how that works? You grow your hand back. Is all I'm
You're
asking.
I don't
you're
think you grow
already
your hand
shunned
back.
by society just because of your race. You really want to add on to that?
We could get him a prosthetic.
oh, wait,
I have 3 hands.
wait a minute. Oh, it would be
I hear
permanent. Hold on.
G&G Corporation is actually doing some wonderful things with prosthetics, but it might be hard to find them way out here.
Wait, that is permanent.
Uh-huh.
That's
Mhm.
gonna be really interesting. If I get a
Yeah.
prosthetic, that would be cool. I'd have a pet hand forever.
And you can only use that spell a maximum of twice.
Not true.
Yes.
What
On
if you have
each
a
of your
third
turns-
hand?
The regenerate spell?
On each of your turns, you can use a. Wait, where is it? You can also use a bonus action to reattach the crawl claw to your body, returning your hand to normal. The crawling claw is
Okay.
under your control for 24 hours, after which you must reattach it to your body or it dies. If the crawling claw dies by any means, it cannot be reattached to your body unless by magical means such as a regenerate spell.
Ooh. I don't have
So-
access to that yet.
No. Oh, that's what I forgot to do with my spells.
Alrighty. In
Don't
that case,
Don't you already have?
What?
Good. Don't you already have some sort of crawling claw spell? Didn't we
But
go dig up a bunch of hands already?
it's different.
It's
not my
different.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a different spell. All right, Ragu. During your training, actually, I'll ask first. Are you going more Eldritch? Are you doing another level of Wizard, or are you going back to the fighter?
Actually, that was the interesting thing, because the more I looked at it, and this was a long debate, the more I looked at it, the more Eldritch Knight alone wasn't actually true to my thematic character. So what actually is best for my character in a long term is 5 levels of specialized War Mage and 8 levels of Eldritch Knight Fighter. So eventually I'll get to that point, but at the moment I have my 2nd level in War Magic in order to get my 2nd level Wizard specialization War Magic.
Okay, so
But I'll be
as you
going back
delve,
to Fighter right after this.
fair enough. So as you delve into this War Magic, is there anything that happened during your training that stands out?
They were surprised to see me walking back into class, because originally I was only going to take the 1 level, but I continued to excel, and I learned how to actually force my magic directly out into the world in the form of deflection. And now I can just kind of wave off attacks with a magical wave of my hand, kind of adding to my armor and, saving throws and stuff. It's pretty cool.
All right, cool. All right.
Oh, also, everything else we discussed with Gimbal,
Yes.
do you want me to still give him everything?
Yeah. Do what
Okay.
you're going to do normally, but in this time is you get 6 healing potions, and you got the magic item from a different source.
Okay. Yeah, I just needed to make sure that they stayed in my inventory or not.
Yep. No, you still did all that, like you said.
Okay, cool.
All right, Pico. So as you continue to learn the ways of the druid, so anything during your training that stood out?
Not really, other than as I was progressing through, finally managed to unlock animal forms for the first time. So
There was no event like accidentally turning into a brown bear at your desk, smashing it to pieces, or something like that.
considering I'd been trying to do that on purpose, doing that on accident probably would have been a welcome surprise. No, if anything, a lot of it would have just been struggling to make these things happening, and of course realizing that I was a little bit behind schedule due to the diversion because of following through on the sorcery powers that manifested themselves. But a lot of it was just kind of trying to incorporate the druid training in with the athletics training at the same time, since I was determined to get my character more physically active.
Okay. And then finally, Ire. So you're continuing the path of the paladin.
Yep.
Any specific event or anything during your training that stands out?
Um. So in paladin, in normal paladin leveling at third level, your is when your oaths are like finalized or whatever, and you like become a true paladin, basically. Um. But my oaths where it doesn't really fit for my oaths are kind of like given to my character since level one. It was kind of different. So maybe just like while I was doing my stuff at the church, I had some affirmation or like what's the word I'm thinking of, like a sign or something that I should stay true to my oaths, and that's the path that I'm going down.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. All right, so that completes all the leveling and all the downtime. So the other thing that happened during this period is if you open up the documents folder in your journal, each of you should have access to two documents. One that says Lumev Expedition Nexus Guild, and if you open that up, that was given to you directly from the Nexus Guild relating to the upcoming expedition. And then you should have a second document, and this document was delivered specifically from your personal guild. And depending on the guild, some up to two people may have received the same document, although some of you are on your own. And so go ahead and open up those documents and take a look.
Question. The armor that you said we found in the chest. What was the armor again? What was it?
It was mithril chainmail. It gave you an AC of 16, but it did not have a weight restriction or stealth negatives.
Did anybody take that? Are we deciding whether we're having it fitted for somebody?
Oh yes, we need to have that fitted for whoever's going to be wearing
Like during
it.
our downtime? Yeah.
Wait, the mithril armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we gave that to Devox so he wouldn't have penalty on stealth.
Okay, so it's going to
I don't
cost.
remember us doing anything. I don't know.
It's going to cost you 50 silver to have it fitted. So who's going to pay the 50 silver?
I guess I will.
Okay.
Actually, wait. I think it's on. I do. Okay. Yeah, I will.
You just robbed a merchant. I hope you do.
I'm gonna sell it.
Well, he technically robbed the merchant, but he hasn't fenced the goods yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, everybody go ahead and take a look at those two documents. Does everybody see those two documents in your journal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then once you are ready to continue, let me know, and then we'll move on.
Who else is in the Agents of Fate?
Me, Smile.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy, you said about rations. They were being sold in like barrels of water and stuff like that.
Yes.
Are we going to be packing that on our back? Are we going to be given a cart, or do we want to pick up some pack animals?
You aren't being given a cart or animals, although you were given a little bit of extra money, so that's completely up to you guys.
Well, one thing though, Jeremy didn't just say from the very beginning of the campaign that we are allowed 1 week's worth without like.
Yes,
I think that
so
was the weight without weight restrictions on us, right?
yeah, so basically, if you look on your sheet, you should have the bubbles for 1 week of food and water already filled out, and so that doesn't add any extra weight, just to kind of make things a little easier. If you add extra weeks, then it adds the weight.
Got it. Okay.
And then once you break it open, then you'd move it to those bubbles, and then the weight goes away, that kind of thing. And so one thing you can do is, you can take the week of supplies you already have, and then you can take opportunities that come up to try to refill your water or to get extra food and whatnot. And so you can try to go in that way without taking extra weeks of supplies. It's up to you.
Well, according to our first mission, oh, wait a second. No, sorry. There's a secondary portion, because the original portion of our mission is 3 days travel, so that's 3 days there, 3 days back. So a week would be fine. However, there's a second portion of our mission that could take 1 to 3 weeks.
Well, what that specifically means is that the goal is that your entire expedition doesn't take more than 1 to 3 weeks.
Okay. All right, and what do we know about Lumev here? Is this a giant desert or a forest? What are we looking at from the portal? Do we have
You
an
do
idea?
know that you were informed that the area around the portal is somewhat arid and hilly. Beyond that, you know what's on the map, which
Okay.
unfortunately isn't much, but you're exploring a new world.
Oh no, that's fine. I just needed to know what general environment we were going into.
All right. So, has everybody looked at your documents?
Yeah, I'm all good and ready.
Mm-hmm.
Still looking.
Okay.
So, is there anybody in the arcane tower?
Yes.
Ah,
And as far as in the documents, when it's talking about how much you get paid and it's talking about total, the reason why I'll say things like both of you or just you is that is specific to just those people in that guild. Whereas the
That's
Lumev
right.
expedition is obviously inclusive of everybody.
Oh, I was wondering why it said both. Fate was like, I thought this was.
So yeah, in your case, Galen, it'd be you and Ire. You were the both.
Yep.
Yeah. Church buddies.
Hey.
I was gonna say I'm Order of Steels. Anybody else in there?
what's the bottom of your thing say?
Bottom of my thing.
Upon completion of your task and your return.
Well, I'll just tell you, Oreo and Ragu, you are singular.
Okay. So we're the only ones in our particular guild.
Yeah.
Because those of us who have guild mates, it actually specified that they'd be paying more than one person.
Okay. Yeah, no, it did not do that. That's why I was confused about what you were asking. Okay.
All right. So once you get all this information, and one last time, you are shuffled to the Nexus Guild, and once you arrive, the Elru is already outside waiting for you, and she says, "Please, this is the big day. Please follow me." And she leads you inside. And inside, you see Carl sitting behind his desk, and he looks around at all of you, and he says, "I assume you've read the appropriate documents."
Mm-hmm.
And just to reiterate, the according to the mandate given down by the Emperor himself, the primary mandate is the mission given by the Nexus Guild. Anything else is optional, despite what they may tell you. And we hope that you take it seriously, that you spend about 1 to 3 weeks there and no more, because we want to take this at least somewhat cautiously. And if you go out and die on the first expedition, it doesn't do anybody any good. So is there anything you would like to know or anything you'd like to say before we head out to the portal?
As part of this expedition, is there anything stopping us from coming back through this portal to resupply and pop right back in?
Yeah.
You can obviously do that, but we would rather, once you come back, we would rather have get the information and decide what to do next rather than popping back and forth, because the portal itself, once you pass through it, it closes and it doesn't open for a day. And so we'd rather you come back, deal with everything, and then plan for the future.
Right.
So,
That makes sense.
unfortunately, that means that once you go through, you are stuck there for a day.
Yeah, it'll be.
Is there anything else that you need to ask, or shall we be about? All right then.
I guess not.
Let's head to the north. And so he takes you out into the city. He takes you through the north gate. And
Whoa. Before we get too far on this, since we're only just now finding out how long this expedition's supposed to be, we're probably going to need some time to figure out what we need as far as provisions.
okay, so I assume you say this before you leave. So Carl nods and he says, "Oh, okay. I was fair enough. So please meet me here tomorrow then, and we will begin." All right. So you guys are free to go. So what do you guys do?
I'm gonna grab my
I was
healer's kit from home.
I was going
Add
to
it
say
to
I
my
was
collection.
trying to find the pack animals and stuff like that pricing lists, but for whatever reason they're not coming up for me.
Okay, hold on. I have so like a mule and stuff.
Yeah, there's a mule. There's even a dog you can get, like a mastiff. That
Yeah, I
can
got a list
carry
here.
stuff.
So, a mule costs 80 silver. A draft horse costs 500 silver. A riding horse costs 750 silver. A mastiff 250 silver. A pony 300 silver, and a war horse 4,000 silver.
Okay, and like a small cart that the mule can pull. What would that be?
A small cart is 150 silver.
Okay, and how much can that small cart carry?
That, yeah, I think a cart is actually fairly small. You might want to go with a wagon that's 350 silver. If you're gonna bother, but let me look. Oh, that is not useful. It looks like it can hold 200 pounds worth of stuff. So yeah, the wagon definitely can go a little bit bigger. Wagon. yeah, a wagon can hold. So a wagon's 400 pounds. I'm sorry, a wagon's 400 pounds, and but it can carry more than 400 pounds. Oh yeah, that's based off of the animal. So um, your animal can carry 15 times its strength. So let's
Okay,
find
is
that.
that for the cart and the wagon?
No,
That's for the wagon. The wagon is going to be. Hold on. Cost. I'm sorry. I thought I had the capacity for this stuff.
Because I was thinking actually that just one mule and a little two-wheel cart or wagon, whichever it's called, to carry
Oh,
another two
okay.
weeks
It's
worth of
doubled.
food.
I see. So yeah. So a wagon can carry up to 800 pounds, and the cart can carry up to 400 pounds.
400 pounds, and that's 150. So that's 230 total and 400 pounds. Okay, and that's pretty well lightweight. And everybody, that's actually our cheapest option to get one mule and a cart, and we can pack 400 pounds worth of supplies on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
that's
yeah,
plenty.
the cart will be 150 silver, and the mule 80 silver.
So that's 230 total. Hold on a second. Does everybody want to help pitch in for that?
Sure.
sure.
How much?
Yep.
It's not gonna be
230?
much.
How much was the whole thing total?
It was 230 total, so we're looking at 38.3 gold each, or silver. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
yeah, 38.3 silver each. Sorry,
I'll
a
throw
little
in a
lower.
code 40, so take that in wherever.
Okay. All right, and now that we have a mule and a small cart, we want to load it up with another 2 weeks of food and water, 1 week of food and water. We got to buy this extra.
Actually, I've got
Pro-
7 that I had in my kit already. Can I put my 7 into there? Because I would be unencumbered at that point.
7 what?
Right, rations into the thing because it's heavy.
Okay, so you're basically going to turn your 7 days into a week.
Well, no,
ration.
that's the thing though. Like the 7 that I had was from the original when we created characters.
Right.
It was separate from the 7 little bubbles that you've got for rations.
Okay.
So
You
that
had
would be
7
considered
addition.
correct.
Right.
So that's been on my weight this entire time.
Okay, so in that case, yeah, so we can add 1 ration box to the cart and subtract the weight from you.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. All right. So everybody else pitching in.
Yeah, I already
Jeremy, you
picked
want to
it.
help us figure out what two
I
weeks worth of
provided 40
rations would be?
silver.
Yeah, so a ration box, which is 1 week of rations, costs 20 silver and weighs 7 pounds. And a water barrel, which is 1 week of water, costs 10 silver and weighs 50 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and put that in the chat so you guys don't have to remember.
Okay, Dave, you want to help me with some of the math here, trying to figure out what we're putting on there for food and water? We got 5 people. I know there's 6 here, but Ire, you got the bonus of not eating or drinking.
Well, for everybody except Fire, it sounds like we'd probably, well, for most of us, we probably want to come up with 60 silver apiece for 2 weeks of supplies. Since Oreo's already got a extra week on there, she could probably get away with 30 silver to top off.
Okay, and do we want to take 2 weeks worth with us, or do we want to just take an extra week's worth with us and assume we'll be back before the 2 weeks is done?
Well, the documentation mentioned the expedition possibly taking 1 to 3 weeks. So if we pack 2 extra weeks per person, then that covers the maximum expected duration of the expedition. And if we have any potential problems, I should be able to cover the shortfall there.
So
Alrighty.
what I've done is under players, I added a cart character, which is basically it's a whole character sheet, but just ignore it all. You have an equipment screen, and you can put all your equipment that goes in the cart there, and you can track your encumbrance that way.
Okay,
Although,
cool.
wait a minute, how much can the cart handle? I just realized that's a
The
lot
cart
of
can handle
supplies.
400 pounds. That's why I said we have to schedule this. We got one
All right.
mule carrying a 400-pound cart, so we can't load it up with 900 pounds worth of stuff.
All right, well, 2 weeks worth of water for 5 people is already
That's why I was saying just 1 week
500
extra. Yeah, that's why I was saying 1 week extra for just to try and stretch ourselves.
Then we can scavenge.
Yep,
And
that's
we've
why I
been
took
good
it
at
for-
finishing early. So I think an extra week and it'll help carry. And if there's a little extra weight, that means anything we find there, we can haul back.
Yeah, we're gonna want to haul back some cool stuff anyways. Does anybody have a water purification spell or like some way to purify water?
I have access to that. Well, actually, no, I've got the next best. Actually, I think I have both. Hold on a second. I can actually just create water outright.
Oh, well, there we go. So I
Uh,
don't think we really need that many extra rations of water. We can
and I
probably
can
get away
purify
with-
food and drink, which actually purifying the food and drink might work a little better because it looks like I can ritual cast that. So that would help deal with limited spell resources.
That's nice. So maybe I vote 1 week of water and 1 week of food on the cart. I don't think we really need any more.
Fair enough.
So what I've done is on the cart sheet under equipment, I've added a ration box, I added a water barrel, and it has the weight and everything. And so if you're only buying one, you can leave the quantity at one, but if you get more, you can just put it in there. So does
We can.
everybody see that the cart?
Yeah.
Cart. Okay.
right. All right.
All right. Can I drag and drop stuff there?
Yeah. You have to do it from the eye though. You can't drag between character sheets, unfortunately.
Okay.
Whoops. Although, what are you planning on dragging over? Because there's already ration box and water listed.
I was gonna throw my personal tent and bedroll on there, just so that's an extra 26 pounds I don't have.
Some human skulls and hands too. Those could go in there.
Like a plague cart.
So who bought 5 ration boxes and 5 water barrels?
That would have been well. Oreo would have put one of hers on there already. I went ahead and deducted the money to get 1 week of each for me. I'm working under the assumption that the other non-robotic party members also paid their 30 silver for the extra
Okay.
week.
Fair enough.
Wait, so one ration box is 1 week's ration for
Yeah.
each person?
Yes.
Or one person?
It's ration box is 7 days of rations for one person.
Oh, so we need more. That's why there's 5 of each.
Yeah, 1 box for each of us.
And I didn't pay my
So,
money. Was that an extra 30
so
silver?
just deduct 30 silver total from your sheet, and then that'll get you covered.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then, yeah, and Devok and Ragu would do the same, and then that should have everybody covered.
Okay. Can I throw maybe my shit on you actually?
It looks like you're up to 305. So it looks like you have 95 more pounds.
Hmm.
Oh, dang it. Looks like I'm going to have to. Am I going to have to refresh?
I say we leave a good amount of poundage for hauling back goods. Even though we're gonna
Well,
eat up a lot of
remember,
the weight and pick up a lot of the weight, I still like be able to carry back a lot of things.
yeah, I mean, by the time we're to that point, we'll probably have already cleared a fair bit of space off the wagon anyway. So
That's very true as well. Maybe a few emergency healers kits or like got tent on there. Maybe
Yeah,
some
you
emergency goods
did
on
get a
there
whole
would be
bunch of healers kits. We definitely want to throw those on there.
Yeah, I have some extras. Why don't I like to carry 2 on me, so I'm gonna just throw 1 on there. Nobody minds.
Okay. Yeah, you should be
That'll
able to
be
open it up to the equipment and then go to the eye and drag and drop a healer's kit.
okay.
Okay, I don't think that worked. Oh, okay, somebody's still making something. Okay, no problem.
Oh, that was my bad. I'm trying to. I'll just
guess
my
these
little
technically aren't equipped.
failed
Whatever.
fail.
Oops. What are you trying to add?
I'm trying to throw on my healer's kit. I think I spelled it wrong and it got mad at
Ho-
me.
You have to go to the eye, look up a brand new healer's kit, drag it
I've got
over
it
so
covered.
it's just the cart. Okay. Well,
How many are you putting on there?
I was only gonna put on 1. It's just gonna be like an emergency fund type thing. I found it. Too
I
late.
was gonna say you have 10 of them. Throw 2 on there. They're only a
I
pound or 3
do
pounds.
not have 10 of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
It's
thought you got a
10
whole
uses
bunch.
in a single kit. That's where you
Okay.
got that 10 from. Alrighty.
In fact, I use these
And
pretty
even though
fast.
we
Do we
did
want to
wind up,
buy an extra maybe?
okay, yeah,
How
because I
much are
thought you
those
had
in?
enough healers kits, plural, that you were weighed down and had to drop them off at home.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I got 4.
Okay, then yeah, bring 3.
yeah. I'm bringing them all. I think I did some math wrong on putting them in my sheet though. So
Yeah,
put
the
2 of them on the cart, and then we're at the right math.
2 on the cart. All right.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
because I used like an entire healer's kit over the last like 2 days.
So healers kits are 50 silver. So if you wanted to buy another one, you can do so.
Okay, I can
Couldn't
pay
he
for
go?
that.
Couldn't he go to the same contact? Because I got them all at the discount with my contact. So
Oh,
couldn't
that's
he go
true.
there? So
That case, they're 30
Yeah,
silver.
for 20 is
30? All right, I'll
okay.
pay for it. Okay, sweet.
So go ahead and update the cart or your sheet, depending on where you're putting it.
I'm gonna put the extra one on the cart and it's updated. Actually, fuck it. I'm gonna carry it.
Okay. Whichever.
Yeah, yeah.
Alrighty. Are you purchasing anything else? So you got a mule and you have a cart. In fact,
Yeah, and I was going to say this is the cheapest option, everybody. So if the worst happens and we wind up losing it for some reason, then it wasn't like a major detriment. And being just a little 2-wheel cart is the smallest thing, so it should be able to, go wherever we go.
fair enough. I added the mule under other items on the cart, simply so that's documented somewhere.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, everybody should have access to the cart. So if you want to go in and trade items back and forth, assuming you're in a position to do so, you should be able to do that easily enough. Alrighty, so you guys decided to spend that extra day to make sure you had enough equipment and everything. So are you doing anything else during that day?
Um, I don't know. I'm gonna go and pray for the safety of our mission at the temple.
All right.
Is there any other equipment we're likely to need?
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think so.
I'm gonna go and get one more quiver of arrows. How much did it cost, Jeremy? So I can just subtract it from my total.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find it here. That would be 7 silver,
Okay, thank
and
you.
that's at the discounted price.
Right. Okay.
Not bad.
And that gives you 20 arrows.
Yep.
All right. So Oreo went and got arrows. Anybody else buying anything, or are we going to fast forward to the next day?
I think I'm good with equipment and weapons. Everybody else?
Did you add
Thanks
those
for.
potions, Ragu?
I certainly did. Thank you.
And as a reminder, so that you got them, one of the reasons is that if you wanted to pass them out or whatever, that might be a good idea.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say who wants to carry.
Yeah, I've got 4 right now with me.
Okay, so you've got 4. Anybody else wants to carry a couple?
Wait, what are we carrying?
An
Potions.
extra potion of healing. Do you want
I
to carry
I
one?
can't use them.
What's that?
Uh,
I said I can't use them.
And
Yeah,
just
no, but think of it as a portable med kit. So if you're up, but the guy next to you is down, then you can just dump potion down his throat and get him back up.
Yeah. I mean, I have lay on hands, and I have.
Oh, I
Oh
want to
yeah,
go
that's
buy an
right.
arcane
Paladin lay on
focus.
hands.
okay.
What's that?
He wants to buy an arcane focus, which we'll get to in a second. But first, as a reminder, potions of healing apparently weigh half a pound each. So
Yep,
factor that
I've
in.
made a count of that. Yep.
Already factored in.
Alrighty. So all right. So you go to buy an arcane focus, and at the same shop Oreo frequents, they actually have them there in order to help with the adventurers. Anyway, so your choices are crystal, orb, rod, staff, or wand. And the prices vary. The crystal is 70 silver, the orb is 150 silver, the rod is 70 silver, the staff is 30 silver, and the wand is 70 silver. And that's at the discounted price.
How much did you say the crystal was?
70 silver.
Ouch. All right, I'll go ahead and get the crystal, and I want it. I want it fitted to a. I want a. Yeah, I want a little fitting for it so I can put it on my chain that I have my druidic focus on.
Okay, so the fitting is going to run you an extra silver.
All right.
So 71.
All right, sold.
All right. Anybody else making any purchases or doing anything during that day?
How long does the lantern last?
I want to say 8 hours, but I could be wrong.
You were talking about the hooded lantern that you got, because I got one
6
too.
hours.
It takes 6 hours with 1 pint of oil.
So yeah, if you want to get some extra pints of oil with that, might not be a bad idea.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Alrighty. Oil. All right. So, yep, 1 pint of oil in a flask is 7 coppers.
1 pint. Let's see, 8. I don't know. trying to debate
I
on it.
generally just put it flask of oil. It's understood to be the standard measurement.
Right, now, how much? You said it was how many coppers for it?
7, assuming you're buying it from Oreo's favorite store.
And how much does that weigh?
That's a good question. Probably half a
The
pound.
oil is 2 pounds
Oh,
per
2
one.
pounds. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
2
And I
pounds.
should say,
All right.
if you get 3 or 4 extra bottles or 5 extra bottles, throw them on the cart.
I was thinking 2 gallons worth, so that'd be 56 copper, 5.6 silver. Yeah. So go to 16.
So 2 gallons is what, 8 flasks?
No, it'd be 16 flasks.
Oh, I was doing that wrong. Okay.
Yep. Just make sure, yeah, go ahead and add it to the cart. And
Oh shoot! So I'm only doing 1 gallon then that way, but yeah, that's 8 pints. We'll leave it at that. So
recommendation is everybody keep fire away from the cart.
Maybe. I'll consider it.
Yeah, looking at you, Fireball, man.
oh, actually, the weight only shows as 1.
Oh, I forgot to put that in my inventory.
Forgot what to put in your inventory.
The wand of fireball.
Oh, yeah, make sure to add it.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say it's still in my inventory. I'm not sure if anybody actually accepted it, but I'll erase it from mine now.
Okay.
What are the specifics on it?
So it's pretty simple. It's you can cast Fireball once per long rest, with the idea that it will grow in power over time. And so yeah, so you use Fireball, and then once you finish a long rest, it's recharged.
Got it.
And
Okie
otherwise, it
dokie.
works exactly like a level 1 Fireball.
All right.
I'm not level 1. I'm at level 3 or whatever
yeah.
it is. Yeah. Okay. Has everybody completed their preparations?
Nice, I have.
Enough for me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. So the next day, you wind up going back to the Nexus Guild, and I assume this time when he asked you if you're all ready, that you agree.
Mostly.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. And then so yeah, he takes you through the northern gate, and you can see that there's a caravan district nearby, and so this is an area that you can store your cart if you so choose. You can keep it here in so that you have it available whenever you're going out on expeditions, assuming you don't want to take it out with you. And then from there, he takes you to the north. It takes you a couple hours outside the city, and of course, he's walking along with you, along with some guards, and they lead you to the maw. And this maw is there's basically this weird, almost normal for you, but there's basically this mountain range, and the mountains behind each row seem to get bigger and bigger until way off in the distance the mountains go right into the sky and disappear in the haze. And before you is a giant circular object with this glowing yellow, almost liquidy surface. And there's a set of stairs that lead up to it. And you can see that there are some tents and buildings nearby and various guards standing around. And there's also a ramp leading up to it for things like carts and wagons and so on. And as you approach, the Carl looks at you and he says, Well, I believe you are ready. You have your mission. You have your documents. So please, please go forth, and I hope to see you sometime in the next 1 to 3 weeks. And good luck, everyone. Just to make sure you're not having second thoughts, are you?
Oh no, this should be fun.
Then, then good luck to you.
Yeah.
And so you approach the portal, and you see this rippling surface and this bright light coming through, and dimly you see stone and greenery and and jaggy rocks on the other side, and you pass through, and you find yourselves on this large plateau, and you can see spires of rock all around you. And in addition, token layer, Shift C, you see, you look back and you see the portal. You see it's overgrown with plants and ivy, and you can see all around you drops off in below this cloudy mist, and then you see the structures and the stone overgrown around you, but the portal itself, it seems to be in perfect condition. And then you look up into the sky, and you notice that the sun is a simple round disk. At least it appears to be the sun. It's bright and hard to look at. And you see the clouds kind of arcing in the sky, and you're surprised at just how large it all seems. So what do you do?
Well, Ragu, would you have a look at that?
I was going to say, Pico, yes. You'd never think to see that. Again.
Before we all start exploring and having fun, I have a new spell to cast on us for some fun. So I will pick 3 people, I believe, to receive 5 extra hit points for the next 6 days.
Okay.
Who would that benefit?
The people
Me, smile.
who get hit the most.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you either. I have 20 HP. I know.
Okay.
Yourself,
David.
probably. You can do yourself.
Can I actually, Jeremy, do you know if I can cast aid on myself or if it has to be 3 other people?
Let me take a look. Up to 3 creatures within range. It doesn't really say. I assume you can cast it on yourself. I don't see why not.
Okay, so then 2 other people. And it has a duration of 8 hours, which would normally translate into 3 days, right?
Yeah.
But since I can do the, the sorcery thing. Let me look at that. I have this new sorcery feature. It's not letting
Oh,
me.
you have a 3rd level sorcerer, so you have your metamagics.
I have extended spell. Yeah, when you cast a spell that has a duration of 1 minute or longer, you can spend a sorcery point to double its duration. So
Okay.
that would bring it to days, right?
6 days. Yep.
Awesome.
Jeremy, just because I completely forgot to say this, after the second long rest that we had, I would change my proficiency to athletics from herbalism kit. I
Okay.
can do that after every quarter long rest.
Okay. Fair enough. So your proficiency is currently athletics.
Correct.
All right. So you guys start to look around a bit, and you suddenly hear the shrieks from below the mist, and you can see shadows of something moving, and you see breaking the mist these brightly colored red birds.
Very.
That's not good.
Come on.
Do they look like
Are
they're
they huge?
attacking?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you brightly colored red birds suddenly burst up and start flying around. And it seems like they are somehow reacting to either the portal itself or your presence. And you can tell that they start flying around in the sky, and then start diving at you. So I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
Okay. So who took the extra hit points then? I took 5. There's 2 other people who get 5 extra.
I will
I
take
think
some.
I'm with you on the low HP there.
Okay, then you can grab another set. Anybody else?
If nobody else is up, I will gladly take some.
All right, go ahead and take it then. It's going to be active. It increases your current maximum and like it just gives you literally 5 extra hit points for the next 6 days. So even increasing your maximum.
Wait, 6 days?
Yeah, 6 days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Is that level 2 spell?
Mm-hmm.
Like a.
Well, it's normally 3 days for him, but he doubled it using his sorcery points.
That's neat. That's a cool spell.
I kind of need it because I, have no health.
Because I'm technically a wizard, so.
Yeah. I also
I have-
doubled the duration of mage armor too, so that'll be helpful, hopefully.
Hey,
Yeah.
that'll work.
So has everybody rolled initiative?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
And you'll notice that one of them has an initiative of -2, which is valid, and they're last.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how is -2 valid? Are they birds with a negative dexterity? Weird.
Yeah, it is definitely weird. All right then. So before we start, go ahead and move yourselves so that each person's in a hex. You're still near the portal, but you're not standing on top of each other. So yeah, there you go. You guys go ahead and move yourselves. But
Where the bird?
so yeah, so you guys are definitely in this
Oh, I see
area.
'em.
All right. So Ragu, you are first. So you see these birds flying around, and you saw, a few seconds ago, a couple of kind of dive across and fly, and it's pretty clear based on the viciousness of their movements that they are definitely planning on to attack. So what are you going to do? Ragu.
I'm going to go ahead and yes. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I am going to necrotic blast. There's something odd about these birds, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Which one?
7.
All right, so that is up there. Okay, and that is a hit. So go ahead and roll your damage. All right, so you hit him for 4 points. So yeah, the necrotic blast smashes into it, and that actually seems to hurt it pretty badly. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that would be. Now, necrotic blast prevents them from gaining hit points until the end of my next turn. I don't know if that takes effect with these things or not. Just letting you know.
Fair enough. All right, Ire, you see that one of the birds was hit by Ragu's blast, and there's just something about these birds that gives you the creeps. What are you going to do?
Not sure there's much I can actually do. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'll move up a little bit, and just stay here.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Galen, you see these birds flying around. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna shoot the one that was hit by. Actually, should I leave that one alive to see if they regenerate?
Well, they're not going to with necrotic blast. You'd have to do that experiment with a different one,
Okay.
or you can just start trying to take them out.
Yeah, I think.
Necrotic blast is actually chill touch. If you just read chill touch, it's poorly named, so to prevent confusion.
Hmm. I'll shoot the bird 6 over here. Why not? I'm gonna shoot him with firebolt. Hopefully they're not fireproof.
Fair enough. That's a hit.
Yay. That's
And you
sad.
hit him for 1 point of damage, which he does take.
That's good.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alrighty. All right, Devok, 2 of the birds have been hurt. They all seem vicious. What are you going to do?
The low health one. With
All right, bird 7 over here.
blast. Yeah.
You shoot,
Of
and it
course.
hits the cliff side. All right. Oreo, you can see these vicious birds flying around. What are you going to do?
I'll hit number 7 with
Okay.
the Widowmaker.
All right, that's a hit. And bird 7 pops. You just see as it goes through, and it's got this bolt or arrow sticking at him. It lands on the ground, and you just see it twitching, and then you see it catch on fire and then vanish. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. It is
Yeah.
now
Interest.
time for the birds. Assuming there they are. This is my bad. I seem to be having issues. Hold on one moment. There it is. All right. So one of the birds starts flying in, and one of the things you notice is that they are very, very fast. And one of them flies by Ire and attacks him. He should not have advantage, but that is a 21 there. So a 21 hits, correct, Ire?
Yep.
So
yeah.
as it flies by, its talon, its beak reaches down and bites into Ire's metal, and actually rips off a piece of metal as it flies by.
Now, just
Ooh.
to make sure, what's your AC now?
You're muted, Dave.
My AC is 2-0.
Okay. Does that include your new goodie?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a 19 before.
All right.
All right. So another of the birds, one of the ones close to the fallen comrade, starts flying forward and flies right past Pico, attempting to peck at him, and succeeds. And with a 23, that manages to hit. And he rips off a piece of your flesh as it flies by for 6 damage. And then bird 12 starts flying closer and lands on one of the pillars. Bird 9 flies in and lands on one of the other pillars. And then finally, bird 2 flies and lands on yet another pillar. All right, Pico, you see the birds have attacked. You're missing flesh now. What are you going to do?
How high up is bird 4?
Bird 4 is probably about 15 feet.
All right, you little piece of bird shit. The last thing you're going to do in life is attack me.
That's a hit.
Oh, seriously?
And he gets burned slightly for 1 point of damage.
What kind of cover is there around here?
So these pillars here are fairly tall. They're about 10 feet tall. This thing's probably about 5 feet, and this pillar down here is probably about 10 feet. And you can't see it on here, but over these two pillars, there's kind of a beam that extends. So if you're underneath here or here, then you're safe directly from directly above.
So like here it would work then?
Yeah, so that bird like right here couldn't hit you, but the one that's next to you could still fly underneath and strike at you.
All right, well, I'll take cover here.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
Alrighty. So now, bird 8 is going to swoop in. And he flies up to Devok and doesn't actually have enough movement to fly past him this time. And with a 13, he misses. And bird 10 flies in and lands on top of the pillar. Bird 1 is going to fly in. And he can just barely reach Galen, so he's going to attempt to peck at Galen. And
Oh, no way, he missed. Yes,
did you cast Mage Armor?
I did for 6 days.
Fair enough. So he misses.
That's huge. I think that's the first and only time that'll happen.
All right.
How great is he with mage armor?
Bird 11.
I have a 13 AC.
Bird 11 flies by Ire and bites at him with a 22, which hits.
Wow.
And he rips another piece of metal away for another 5 points of damage.
Ow.
All right. Then bird 6 flies in.
There's so many birds.
They're way
And apparently bird 6 doesn't know what a cat is because he flies right up to Oreo and bites her but can't move on. With a 17, which I believe also hits. For 6 damage, just rips apart part of your flesh. And then bird 5 flies in and lands. Bird 3 is going to fly in and land. And then finally, bird 13 flies in and lands. So it's now the beginning of round 2. Ragu, you are surrounded with birds. What are you going to do?
Let me see here. I'm going to move past Ire. Swing away.
Okay.
Char is going to swoop down this way and then swoop back up here. Out of the way.
Okay.
Giving me help.
Go for it.
Come on.
Um,
19.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You hit. And you cleave that bird in half. It falls off the pillar, hits the ground, catches on fire, and then becomes ash. Is that the end of your turn?
I use my movement to go a little further, and my offhanded attack, which is normal.
Okay. That's a hit. All right, you smash him for 6 points of damage, almost taking it out, but it is still there. You're about ready to take flight. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Ire, you too are surrounded with birds, and you're missing chunks of metal because of them. What are you going to do?
Are any of them? Are they all in the air?
The ones No, I think most of them are actually landed. So you can actually reach the ones that are on the ground. The
Okay.
ones that are on the pillars are a bit higher up, but if you have a if you have a weapon with a long enough reach, you can still get them.
I do not. Well, I'm just gonna run up to 14 and hit him with my flail
Okay.
and miss.
He flies away and then lands just a foot away from where you originally tried to hit him, as if mocking you.
Okay, well, that's my turn.
All right, Galen. There's birds everywhere. What are you gonna do?
Uh, I will shoot a bird. Or actually, should I just shocking grasp? Nah, I'm gonna shoot it with fire. Kill it with fire.
Which one are you shooting?
The one that's right in front of me that tried to hit me.
So technically, since it is on the ground or on the stone, if you cast a range spell, then you have disadvantage, whereas because since it's in melee range.
Oh, then I'll do my touch spell.
Okay.
Okay.
You can back up and cast too if you wanted.
Yeah, but then he'd get an attack of opportunity,
Ah, okay.
All right, go for
I
it.
think.
Yeah, he would.
I don't know how birds work.
No, they still get those. That's a hit.
I'm gonna electrocute the bird. Although birds are like immune to electrocution. I've seen them on the wires outside.
Well,
No, that's different.
these apparently are not, and it pops.
No, I know. It's grounding. I know. I'm just joking around.
Or the lack thereof, really.
Yeah.
All right, so bird 7 is no more as you fry it, and then it catches on fire as you're frying it, and then becomes ash. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Devok, there's still a lot of birds, although the herd is being thinned. What are you going to do?
Let's see. I want to use Bone Storm, but it might hit Pico. So, is he like
Well, I'm under an obstacle, depending on how it works.
here? I'll link it. That's Bone Storm.
Well, one thing I'll let you know right off the bat is that these you guys have seen these things go down. They have 7 hit points. So just do you want to spend that for creatures with 7 hit points?
Well, that's fair.
Which if so, that's fine. I'm just letting you know.
What?
Yeah, if it's coming from you, that would actually hit me. I was just making sure it wasn't something that came from the sky, given the name Storm.
Yeah. If it hits you, then maybe that's a bad idea.
I also think we should save our spell slots for like not birds.
Yeah, if this is the kind of reception the first party that they sent through got, no wonder they didn't survive.
I guess I'll just shoot one then. For 8.
Okay. All right. You guys know that their AC is now is 12, so that hits for 2 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, Oreo. Bird 6 is trying to peck at you. What are you going to do?
Is that considered in melee?
It is, yeah, it's currently on the ground, so it is in melee.
And I'll use my rapier for that one.
Okay. That's a hit. And it catches on fire as you stab it, and then becomes ash. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. You said that this is a hold on. This is a beam too, or what? Or
This
that's
is
the portal itself,
the
right?
this is the portal. This is a beam. So this bird's about 10 feet up.
Okay, that's fine. I'll stay there then.
All right. So bird 14 then attempts to fly by. Actually, like this. Fly by Ire, attempting to bite him. With a 23, that hits.
Do these birds have flyby, or can he get a attack of opportunity too?
They get the flyby. That's what they've been doing. Basically, the whole fight. It's just earlier some of them ran out of movement, which is why they couldn't all do the flyby. Anyway, Ire, you take 4 points of damage as it rips more of your metal skin. All right, bird 4 is going to fly by Devok, biting at him, and land on top of the portal. And an 18 is not good enough to hit. Bird 12 flies off the pillar, flies past Ragu, and lands with a 17, which I believe is good enough to hit. So Ragu, you have 5 points of flesh ripped out of your body.
Wait a second. What did he hit me with?
17.
I use my reaction, arcane deflection. He goes to sweep by, and an inch before he gets to my face, he just gets deflected by the air in a glimmer of magic.
Fair enough. All right. Bird 9 is going to fly past Oreo, biting at her with a 15, which is good enough to hit. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. And so bites you for another 4 points of damage. And Pico, you just see these birds just flying back and forth, biting people as they fly past. What are you going to do?
How tall are these pillars again?
You're muted.
Anyway, these are about 10 feet. And so basically 10 feet above you, there's basically stone. So yeah, basically 10 feet.
Given all the ivy or vines or whatever, how hard would they be to climb?
It'd be about a DC 10 climb check if that's what you want to do.
Bird 4 is on the portal. Are there any that are on the ground?
This one's on the ground. Over here, this one down here is on the ground. This one near Devok is also on the ground, or on some stones, but reachable.
Okay, so I'm going to move towards the one next to Devok first and attack it.
Okay. You hit, and you slice it into pieces, which burn out to ash.
And then you said this one was on the ground too?
Yeah.
And attack it as well.
Okay.
And I miss.
It flies out of reach. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that'll do.
All right. Bird 10 flies to the south, sees a tasty treat, and attempts to bite at Char.
Oh,
With a 14, I believe that hits, right?
that's 11. That does hit Char.
He does these three piercing damage, and he tries to peck at Char, which actually winds up just disappearing, and he does not get his meal. Bird 11 is going to fly away from you, but because it's on the ground, you do get an opportunity attack. So go for it, Ragu, if you want to take it.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, yep, it pops. And then bird 5, which is not highlighting for some reason, is going to fly off the pillar and fly past Pico, attempting to bite him and failing. And then bird 3 is going to fly off the pillar past Ragu and onto the other pillar. Actually, I'll put him down there. For a 22, which hits Ragu. And so Ragu, he tears out 4 hit points of flesh. And then finally, bird 13 flies past you, Ragu, and attempts to bite you for another 5 points of damage. So we're beginning of round 3. Ragu, it's your turn. Bird 10 dared to destroy your familiar. What are you going to do?
I'm going to swing away. I'm just going to turn and swing on him.
Fair enough. And a 21's a hit. And in the single hit, you slice him in half. He catches on fire and is no more. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm going to move here and swing on bird 14, is that?
Yes. Which is on the ground, so that's fine. And that is a hit. And you
If it's exactly 7, can I hit to knock out instead of kill?
Fair enough. You knock him out. Is that the end of your turn?
That will be yes.
All right. Ire, the bird standing near you is on this this object, but that's 5 feet high, and you're standing on stone, so you could actually reach him if you use your weapon. So what are you
Yep.
gonna do?
All right. Yep. I'll hit. Take a swing at bird 3.
Okay. That hits.
There we go. There we go.
And
All right.
you smash him into pieces that burn away. Is that the end of your turn? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Wait. Actually, wait. I'd like to. Can I move up here? Is that a thing?
You're gonna, if you climb up, you can do so, but it acts as rough terrain, so that costs you 2 hexes of movement.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So you're now next to bird 12. So you're doing anything else?
Is he bird 12's on the ground, right?
Well, he's on this object, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's it. I'll just stay here.
All right, Galen. There's quite a few less birds, but there's also 1 less owl. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna shoot bird 4 with fur.
Go for it. That does
Ooh.
not hit. It hits the surface of the portal, which is already closed. Now that you're looking at it, the glow has gone away, and there's just this metal surface in its place. Is that the end of your turn?
Nah, screw it. I'm gonna throw on favored by the gods and hit him. I don't want to miss.
Okay. Well, in that case, you hit him. Roll
That
damage.
automatically hits. It's 2d4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bang.
And
Poof,
you
bird.
destroyed him. You just burned him to ash. Is that the end of your turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Davok. There are still birds flying around, but quite a bit less. What are you going to do?
Shoot bird 14. I shoot bird 5
Okay. Go for it.
from here.
14's knocked unconscious. He's basically dead. You got the others. Just so you know.
Yeah. I'm shooting
That's
at
a hit.
5. 1.
You burn. No, your Eldritch Blast damages him slightly. Is that the end of your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about your rolls, by the way. All right, Oreo. You see the birds flying around. What are you gonna do?
Getting to this hex is how much?
You're jumping down, so I don't think it'll cost you anything extra.
Okay, so I'll move up here, and he's considered. This thing is considered in melee with Pico, right?
Yeah, he's on the ground, and he is in melee
Um,
to meet Pico.
Okay, so rapier first.
That's it. And it's gone.
And then with my offhand, I'm gonna throw one of my daggers over to number 5.
Okay. That hits. And you hit him for 2 points of damage, and he flutters around, the dagger slips out and hits the ground. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. Bird 14 is unconscious. Bird 12 sees Ire standing there, so he's going to fly past him while pecking at him and landing on another pillar. Unfortunately, he was too distracted trying to get away and misses. Pico, You see, bird 5 has been hurt pretty bad. What are you going to do?
I'm going to try an offhand attack against this thing.
Okay. You hit. And just enough, and you take him out.
I'm then going to move to bird 13 and use my main attack.
Okay. And you miss as it flies out of reach.
All right.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Is that the end of your turn?
Not quite. I'm going to move here just to make it more difficult for it to do anything about me.
Okay. Bird 13 flies and lands on the pillar. And we are now at the beginning of round 4. Ragu, the bird is unconscious near your feet. What are you going to do?
I'm going to turn and cast Necrotic Blast at 12.
Okay. That's a hit. And you strike him for 1 point of damage. That the end of your turn?
Yeah, how long is this bird going to stay unconscious, sir? Quite a while? Rest of the fight or whatever?
Probably for anywhere from 10 minutes to several hours. You don't know.
Okay. All right. So yeah, as long as it'll do the rest of the fight, I can just leave him there. Okay. That is my turn.
Fair enough. All right, Ire, the bird you climbed up to attack has flown away. What are you going to do?
Okay. This time is when I'll pull out a javelin and throw it at bird 12.
Fair enough. Go for it. That's a hit.
Like
It's just enough damage that you take it out. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, Galen. There appears to only be one bird that's still conscious. What are you going to do?
Shoot, bird. Ow. No, I missed.
You shoot, but it's at a bad angle. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep. Devok killed that bird.
Devok, there's one bird that's still flying around. What are you going to do?
Shoot it.
Okay. That hits. And you do 6 points of damage, which is almost enough to take it out.
It's over.
All right, Oreo, there's one bird that's still conscious, but almost dead. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm gonna go get my dagger over here, and then with my bow, I'm gonna shoot it from there.
All right. And that's a hit, and you take it out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end the combat.
Is the portal still open or did it shut?
It closed already. It was mentioned during the battle.
Darn it.
All right, so I'm going to exit out of combat. Yep, the portal is now closed. The birds are all dead except for one. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to pick up the bird, and I was going to tie it up and toss it through the portal with a little scrolled note that said Sample 1, Rasiri, and leave it at that. But do we want to really carry this bird around for the rest of our trip if we're not coming back to this portal?
Well, we could see what happens if it dies naturally.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tie it up with some like leather straps, not a big rope because it's a small bird, but something appropriately sized so its wings are completely tucked in and around its beak so it can't bite or nothing, so it's completely immobilized. Make sure it's tied nice and tight. And
Okay, well, put it in whatever inventory you want and add 2 pounds.
Might I recommend, as per the Nexus Guild guidelines, we name the birds and document them.
Yeah,
They
that's a
did
good
say to
idea.
do that, right? They said document any wildlife, right?
Oh, yeah, okay. In that case, here I hand you the tied up bird.
We can keep it on the cart, but I think
Owl killing
do
monster.
we, as discoverers, do we get to name the bird? Can we choose the bird name,
Exactly.
or has somebody
Yep.
else? Okay, boys, convene.
That's why
Party.
it's called bird on the token, because it doesn't have a name yet.
Okay, everybody meet up. Huddle.
Total.
What kind of birds do these look like? Does it appear to be a falcon or a parakeet or a basic shape and
Yeah, let
body
me go
design?
ahead and creatures. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and give you a bigger picture. Geez, whatever. There.
Hmm.
Phoenix falcons or a phoenix hawk
I vote.
because they burn into ash like phoenixes.
They do kind of. Wait,
No,
yeah, that's
a phoenix hawk.
Phoenix Hawk. That's a good name. We could also name birds. They're so fucking annoying. But I like the Phoenix one. That one sounds very official.
Official. I like that.
Well, in that case, go ahead and mark on your character sheet somewhere what these things are in your description, and then keep that in mind when you go back.
Yeah, I'll start a notes section. Um, that is all of the labels for our um fauna and flora, as well as I think there's a couple cities that we can mark down as well. That would be useful. Any signs of civilization, but I'll start what's it called again? Lumev? I'll start a Lumev section. If anybody else wants
All
to do
right,
that
I
too,
have
that
it.
would be great.
All right, I have it in the cart also.
Okay, awesome.
Jeremy,
I
what kind
want to
of a
research it while it's alive.
Sorry, what'd you say there, Ori?
I wanted to what kind of a check do I have to make to kind of see the type of wildlife that's around us in this area? If it's anything similar to what we've seen out in back in our place.
Okay, you start looking around. Go ahead and make a survival check or a nature check. All right, so yeah, you're looking around and you see that you're not seeing a lot of plant life beyond the this portal area. You notice that down here it seems to just kind of taper off, and you see beyond that this kind of rocky ground. But you do notice some roots in some of the rock formations. However, you don't see any direct evidence of whatever plants those roots would be coming from. Outside of that, you do notice some insects, which look fairly similar to insects that you've noticed from your world. But beyond the insects, you don't see any other animals in this area.
Right, so but these plants look like just regular plants that we would
Oh
see,
yeah,
or do
these
they
these
have
plants
something?
look pretty normal, actually. It's like vines, and there's some grass, and even some flowers and stuff. Um, so yeah, the plants around the portal look normal.
Okay.
All right. So what are you gonna do?
Let's check out the roots and then maybe check out the rocks. See if they're different
I was
rock.
going to say, with all these rocks that look like they're not natural, like they're made formations, is there symbols or writing or hieroglyphics or something like that on there?
You search for those things or any other signs of direct signs of tool work and whatnot, and unfortunately, you don't find anything. However, these rocks do seem to be rather old, and so that doesn't mean there never was anything.
Okay.
All right. So to the south, you can hear the sound of wind blowing, and looking around, it looks like that is by far the safest direction to go. So what do you do?
Is
Yeah.
let's go back.
Okay.
How far down does it look like it is?
Looking down, it's hard to tell with the mist and the clouds, but it's hundreds of feet.
Okay.
Oh,
Do I feel like a change in altitude at all, or like, do I feel short of breath up here at all? Do I feel like I'm high or that's just low?
No, you feel like that's probably low.
Okay, got it.
Either that or the air is just thicker here in general.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do you do?
So this way? Question mark? Hello?
Yeah, let's look at the roots and the rocks and then just keep going down. See if we can
Yeah.
spy any signs of civilization or the crater from here.
Fair enough. All right. So you walk up and you start looking at the roots, and the roots seem fairly dry, but they do seem to be alive. There seems to be a small amount of moisture. Unfortunately, probably not enough to help a creature of your size. But beyond that, the roots seem to be coming from out of the ground, from beneath the rocks, rather than the opposite.
Oh, it's upside down. That's weird. Do you guys mind digging? Let's do a little diggy.
You go to
What's
start
upside down?
you go to start digging, and the ground is rather hard and rocky, and you can probably, if you want to make any real headway, it'll probably take you hours.
Oh God, does anybody have like a shovel or something to make this easier?
Well, it's mostly the problem with the rocks and everything kind of being
Uh,
packly tied in. You kind of have to get past that before the shovel's even useful.
all
I
right.
I am a skillful in mining, and that I don't have any.
Oh,
I
that's
don't have a
that's fair.
pickaxe, but yeah, probably
What
do
do you
something with
what do
it.
you have?
Made of metal.
Yeah, I
Clint
am made of
he
metal.
is a shovel. He's got a
That's
shaped back.
true, but
Yeah,
using yourself would probably do damage, or
let's
damage yourself.
see.
I mean, having the
Um,
crowbar,
crowbar
that's
could
what you could
be
do.
helpful.
It would at least
All
loosen up the
right, go ahead
rock.
and make a mining check then. All
Nice.
right, so you're able to use the crowbar kind of as a makeshift shovel slash pickaxe, and you're able to kind of, get through some of the rocks, and you see once you get underneath a ways, you see that the roots continue, and it seems to be this giant network underneath the ground.
Ugh.
You know how like
Right.
fungus, how it has like networks under the ground that connect plants, like a root
Yeah.
fungus network. You know,
Mhm.
How long did they take doing that?
He probably spent, I don't know, maybe half an hour on that.
If you guys would care to wait another half hour, I would like to be casting my spell.
what is your spell?
Find familiar.
Oh, sure, no problem.
All right, let's check out the rocks next then.
Okay. So yeah, you see some kind of fairly strange, large stones that seem like they're they don't really feel like they're part of the ground. I mean, they're sitting there, and erosion and everything. That's there's stones and everything underneath, but it definitely feels a little odd, like it's disconnected somehow. But
Yeah.
other than that, and telling how old they are, it's difficult to really get any other information.
All right, well then, yeah, let's just wait till Ragu finishes his Find Familiar, and then I vote we continue on.
Okay, so Ragu casts his spell, And you start to continue on, and as you do, you notice you notice that the hills all around you, they they seem to be rather jaggy and sharp. It seems like the edges of the hills, in some cases, are could cut you if you're rubbing against them too hard. And it's this very kind of sharp, angular landscape. And at this point, I'm going to move you to the map, to the other map.
Way over there in the top there, is that a city we see in the distance?
It is not because that's just kind of a general map. The up close stuff is what matches, the gist of the terrain. There you don't see actually any cities or anything. Um, anyway, so this is the world map you should be seeing. Does everybody see the map? So if you look to the north and south, you can see mountains on the horizon, and you can see the terrain around you. And each hex is 6 miles, and so you can basically can't really see beyond this ring of hexes. And the way it works is I have a single token representing the party. I did a cart, or a wagon, and horses. I wasn't sure what you guys were going to do there, but I figured that works. Anybody can move it, but obviously, be careful moving it. And when you do move it, make sure to move it one hex at a time so that the script can reveal the hexes underneath. And so, even though you can see the hex surrounding hexes, each hex is really rather large. It's quite a large area, so that doesn't necessarily mean what's in the hexes, and you may pass through a hex not seeing anything interesting, and then pass through it again later, and then run into something and that kind of thing. So anyway, what do you do?
I'd say
Okay, I
we,
suggest
uh,
convene for a moment because I have a question.
mhm.
First off, does anybody have any secondary objectives that might influence where we're going to go next?
Not
I
just
must be
yet.
finding I must be finding civilization, words in the written language. I must be finding symbols and stuff from the foreign alien languages here.
Uh, I know that Ire and I are looking for a temple-like structure that was
True,
seen at
true
one
statement.
point, but seeing as we don't see it, I see no reason we should go anywhere besides starting with the crater.
I'm
Dave,
a
you
little
know,
bit concerned about going to the crater. What was that?
Is it
so you and I are looking for it at the cave map. Was listed and everything.
Yes. And personally, I'm a little bit leery about going directly to the crater because remember that
that is where the
the
first expedition was wiped away?
Yeah, it's very dangerous there. I think that you might be right here. We could ask local people about the crater before heading into it.
I don't know. I feel like I
so
want to check that out.
what I was thinking is I don't think that the cave is necessarily all that far away, and it sounds like that might be less dangerous. Get a little surprise. We could go there first, and who knows, maybe even find some supplies that might help us. You know, when we actually go to the crater.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm reading the map right, I'd estimate it shouldn't take us more than a day to get to either location. So,
How many hexes do we move?
So
Because it's
that's
about halfway between
actually, let me
us
go
and
ahead
the.
and get to that. So you guys have a cart, and so with the cart you can move 4 hexes normally, assuming you're on a road or you're on easy terrain. You are traveling through hills and untracked hills at that, so that basically reduces that by 50%. So you'd be moving at 2 hexes per day.
Oof.
okay, I take that back. A couple of days or so.
It would take about 3 days minimum. I'd estimate 4 days.
On the plus side, it also means though that we should be, if I'm looking at this map right, we should get onto smooth terrain relatively soon. Whereas if we try to go straight to the crater, it looks like most of our terrain's going to be very difficult getting there. And from the cave, it looks like a relatively clearish path to get to the crater. So while it's a
Right.
longer route overall, it might be an easier path for us.
Where are you seeing these things?
Look
I
on
see
the
it.
Lumev Nexus Guild map.
Yeah, they gave us
Oh,
a map.
okay. I see. I get it.
And the
Yeah, and
Automata Cave might have more Automata peoples, ire like yourself, and maybe they will have some writings.
I agree. I think we should.
Oh,
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
Jeremy, was I supposed to do something with like Shadowkind memory or something like that when we got here? Or is that not taking effect yet?
Actually, let me bring
Oh,
it
it
up
says
real
new
quick.
type of terrain or notable
And the
landmark. I guess we haven't seen a notable land yet, so.
and ire as well, I think.
Rules, races. Yeah, it should
Although
tell you.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Ire will probably have a flashback if he sees the Autonoma cave, but that's just a guess.
Well, you have actually come across a new type of terrain because, like I showed in that image, these hills are very different than the hills back in the Nexus. So,
Especially the one in the background that was floating above the ground. It was very
so
odd indeed.
yep. So go ahead and if you look in your character, it should tell you what to do. But you basically roll a d8, and that'll tell you what happens.
Okay, let's roll a d8.
All right. So you rolled a 2 to
Nothing
7,
happens.
so nothing happens. So no, you
Okay.
don't. You don't have any memories.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, basically, if you roll an 8, then a short memory breaks itself free from your fractured memories, giving you some insight. If you roll a 1, an unrelated short memory pops into your mind, and a 2 through 7 is nothing or
Mhm.
normal.
Ire, you should roll that too.
Is that a yeah? If I can.
Yeah, you also have the memory thing, being an
Uh-huh.
automata.
So in your case, it's when you encounter a machine, device, or artifact for the first time.
So
But
probably
the
not
portal
yet.
would count, so go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, same result.
5 buddies.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyway, so you're still early in the day. You have 2 hexes you can move, but we're going to do them one at a time. So, what are you guys going to do?
I propose going northeast.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
All
you
right.
move to the northeast. Oh, okay, you got it. And as you're traveling, you see something odd, and we're going to show up here. And so, as you're traveling along the road, you see a
See a script error.
you see in front of you this world crystal
It's a
floating.
crystal.
Yeah, it's you see it sitting on top of a stone pillar with arms holding it in, and you see this strange purplish light emanating from it, and all about the base you see brambles of multiple hues, and past it, way in the distance, you see a small cave, and inside the cave you see these fibrous objects that look simultaneously like fibrous oblong shapes, and at the same time they look like metal. So what do you do?
Okay, I also see what looks to be like some type of Cthulhu cat over there.
Oh, that was I was setting up some things, and I guess I left it on the map. So sorry about that. That's not there.
Okay, got it. Does anybody have detect magic? Do we want to figure out what this crystal is and then move on to the weird caterpillars?
I can do that if you do not want to, Pico. I
Be
don't know if you
careful
can.
getting close to it, though.
I do not know if you can
Well,
ritual cast it or not.
of course, well, I can, although the catch is the thing is quite, this is almost certainly magical at this point. Uh,
In that case, shall I just
can I use my
identify?
arcane spell lore to figure anything out about it?
You can certainly try.
Perhaps ancient lore.
Yep, you can roll as well. And then
Does this count as an object?
it maybe.
Artificer's lore, magical objects and things.
You think it might be. You can roll. And then Ire, you can roll a d8 as well. All right.
Oh,
And Devok, you're looking at it, and you definitely can see that it is some sort of crystal. And you think that it might contain a soul or an entity, or maybe even be artificial. But unfortunately, it is it's foreign enough that it's hard to pinpoint it down. And
Myth would be artful.
Ire, you have this sudden memory, and in the memory you see you hear a voice, and it's talking in some language that you don't know, but yet you understand in the memory. And the voice is talking about transferring souls into objects and into automata. And another voice is talking about how that is no longer needed. He has perfected artificial souls. And that's the end of the memory.
Interesting.
so that thing's alive.
Possibly. It could have souls in it.
All right, Ragu, as you approach, without you doing anything, Char flies away. He just flies off and lands on the ground, some 20 feet away or so. And
If there's something he doesn't like, can he psychically tell me?
he's basically you get the sense that inside this circle of light is magic is absorbed, or maybe doesn't exist. And when you approached, as you got close, you looked down at your hand and your arms, and the colors were all inverted.
Whoa.
So
yeah,
white
no, I don't
became
like
black,
that.
and so on.
Oh yeah, I back up there. I'm not liking that myself.
Okay, you back
That's
up, and you feel
weird.
fine at this point, and your color goes back to normal as you get further away. So what do you guys do?
Hey guys, do I look like a normal elf if I stand in here?
Does it?
'Cause
He hasn't gotten
don't I
there
have, like,
yet.
completely black skin? Oh, well, let's get a little closer.
All right, you get closer, and you feel a tingling, and
Too close.
anyway, it felt like your connection with the weave was blocked, or maybe absorbed. And you look down at yourself, and you notice, like your color was inverted, and you heard when you were still there, you heard a tinny, almost artificially sounding voice. Trade thought for life.
Trade
No.
thought for life. I think I'm good for now. Thank you.
It went away as soon as you walked away.
Okay.
Speaking
I'll
community.
tell everybody that I heard that, though.
All right.
Trade thought for life? What the hell does that even mean?
There's no way I can definitely identify on this thing because I have to touch it, right?
Yeah, you don't want to touch it. It's gonna definitely trade your thought for life.
Okay.
Anyway, as Tavok and Oreo.
I was doing that. I was trying to move stealthily first, guys. Jeez.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot the caterpillars were alive. Stay back.
As you approach Oreo, you get close to this large rock formation, and inside there's a cave, and you can see the metallic reflection off the fibrous oblong shapes. So what do you do?
Um, uh, do I see anything else in that vicinity other than that? Like anything, any creatures or anything like that catch
Mm,
my eye?
You just see those, like I said, those metallic, fibrous, oblong shapes that they're probably about 5 or 6 feet long, and
Are
maybe
they they're not they're
they're
in
basically these
comparison
things.
to the actual rock that's here, or I don't know if it's rock or not. Like,
Yeah,
how does it compare?
it's they look different because yeah, this is normal rock, some sort of rock formation with a cave essentially. Think of it like a cutaway, um, and these definitely look like fibrous metal.
Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way up to here, but again, I want to be very, very careful with
Okay,
the way I
so
step
stop right
so I don't
there,
offense.
and I'm going to need you to roll initiative.
Cool.
Oreo,
I know.
and everybody else if you want to be involved.
Sure.
Anyway, Oreo, what you see as you approach is you see that those oblong metallic shapes, you see them suddenly start ripping apart, and you see creatures emerge.
Oh, they were eggs or something.
Cocoons.
All right, has everybody rolled initiative? Okay,
Yeah.
so this is round one. And before we start, Oreo, since you've seen this happen, it's going to take a few seconds for this to occur, so you get a turn before we start proper. So what are you going to do?
Does it look like they've seen me, or they are just
They
popping out for the
seem,
first
you're
time?
pretty sure they reacted to your presence, but they don't actually have eyes. Let me actually show you what these things look like. That'll help. Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, a lot of steps. There you go.
It's like what I said. It's a Cthulhu cat looking
So,
thing.
so you see these panther-like creatures, and you can see that they got tentacles going every direction. And as one of them opens their mouths, you can see little tiny worms or something inside their mouths wiggling around. And it seems like it was able to sense you without seeing you. So you're pretty sure it's aware of your presence.
I
Or
see.
all of those are.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case, then I will let the other guys know about that, and then I will shoot an arrow at the first one I see, which is number 2.
Okay, go for it. And that's a hit. All right, the arrow sticks in him, doing 10 points of damage and about 1/3 of his health.
I will take the rest of my, well, that was where I started, so I will be there, and that'll be my, actually, hold on. Let me go back to where I was. Here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here and as a bonus action, try and hide. I believe I have to roll for stealth again if I want to
Yep.
try and hide.
It's a stealth check.
Okay.
Okay, so
And
write that
that's
down.
my turn.
All right, so now we're starting round one proper. Pico, you saw these things to the north rip out, just rip out of those that now you know are some sort of cocoons or something along those lines. Although these things do not look like they're just born. So you're wondering if there's something else. But anyway, they were definitely aware of Oreo, although you saw her run off and hide. So what are you going to do?
All right, and well, you said they don't have eyes?
They do, but they're very small, and you get the feeling that they sense some other way.
All right. Let's see. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Let me see something here real quick. Whoops, wrong thing. Oh wow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tall's up this pile of rock.
Probably about 3 feet. And currently, you're actually in a depression, so you're actually probably about a foot down. So this would be the 0, and then you're at -1, essentially.
Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about this set of rock here? Oh, not
Those
that
are
matters.
those are relatively small, maybe half a foot.
All right, I guess I'll move. Go ahead. Try and use flame on the same one that Ori attacked.
Okay, go for it. All right, you attack, and it somehow senses the attack before it hits it, and it moves. You miss.
All right. That's really all I can do.
All right. So Ragu, you see everything going on. You saw that Pico missed. What are you gonna do?
I am going to move forward. Fire Necrotic Blast on creature number 2.
All right. That's a hit. All right. Here's a chronic blast. That's 2 points of damage, hurting it slightly. Is that the end of your turn?
That is, and it cannot generate hit points until the end of my next turn.
All right.
I don't know if that matters.
All right. Davak, you see the creatures have been engaged to the north. What are you going to do?
And then, I'll shoot.
Number
At
2?
The one that's just stacked.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a hit. All right, a solid hit for 4 points of damage. And you can see that he's now bloodied at less than half health. Is that the end of your turn? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Creatures 3, seeing this strange creature seeing Pico approach, is going to rush forward and attempt to attack. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's plenty of movement. And he is going to use his multi-attack. He actually gets 2 attacks with his tentacles and 1 with his bite. All right, first tentacle hits, unless you have some way of avoiding that.
You're having a little bit of difficulty, Jeremy. You keep fading in and out.
All right. Let me check over here. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Pico, 21 hits, correct? Okay, so the first tentacle bludgeons you for 3 points of damage. The second tentacle missed, and then it attempts to bite you with a 16. And I believe a 16 also hits, correct?
Oh, how much multi has this thing
He-
got?
He's got 2 tentacles and a bite.
These things are
Alrighty.
vicious. Vicious, I say.
So he bites into you for 6 points of piercing damage. And at this point in time, go ahead and make a DC 13 Constitution save,
Oh, ouch.
which you make easily. Alrighty. So that'll stay there. Alright. Ire, you see that one of the creatures has taken a big bite out of Pico and slapped him up the side of the head with a tentacle. So what are you going to do?
You're really lagging.
Yeah, you're lagging a bit, but I can kind of understand what's going on here. Sprint gives me triple my move, right?
Say that again?
The sprint action is gonna be triple my move or double my move. I don't remember.
It's double. It's basically your move again.
Oh, it is double. Okay, I thought it was triple. All right, I'll sprint action to get over there.
Because you're basically moving and then taking a dash action, which is also a movement again.
Well, that's about as far as I can get.
Okay, that's your movement. You can, as part of your movement, pull out a weapon and attack. So, for example, you could use a javelin if you
You're
wanted.
cutting. Yeah, sure. I'll pull out a javelin and throw it. Yeah,
Who are you throwing it at?
creature 3.
All right, go for it. And that almost hit. Their AC is 15, and so it hits in the ground nearby. Is that the end of your turn?
You might want to connect the Discord call and then rejoining.
Okay.
You just hit that call button that's right there.
Here?
The one next to the button you hit to end the call.
Oh.
You said I'm lagging too?
Yeah.
Better.
All right. Is that any better?
That's a lot
that
better.
was better.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
we were having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, sorry about that. All right.
That's not your fault. Just lagging.
Yep. So creature 4 starts running out. Actually, probably get to there and look around. And keep going straight. He comes down the hill. It seems to be running toward Ire. All right, and then another creature comes out, starts looking around, and starts heading toward Devok. And he just barely gets close enough to attack Devok. And so first he starts with his tentacles, both of which miss horribly, and then attempts to bite him, which also fails. All right, Oreo, you can see that the creatures are coming out to attack, but none of them have come towards you yet. So what are you going to do?
I'm gonna go right behind this mofo and hit it with my rapier
You have advantage.
at advantage.
Yep. You stab, but even with advantage, he manages to dodge your attack.
Okay, I have my offhand.
Okay. Also with advantage. And you get a critical hit.
That plus also I'm not done, which is shit too, but plus this and hold on, one last thing. Let me double check. Yep. So something that the guys that are closest to Oreo notice that all of a sudden is that as she stabs this thing with her dagger, there seems to be like another effect that seems to happen, and it hits this guy over here with a sound of wails that You guys doesn't seem to be as much of a bother, but for these creatures, it seems to bother them. So it's an additional to that one.
Okay. To first creature, wouldn't it be this one then?
It has to be within 30 feet of the first creature, and I believe I get to choose.
Oh, you get to choose. Okay, fair enough. 4 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that definitely
And
seems to affect it. And he kind of glances your direction.
perfect. Then that will be my turn.
All right. Awesome. All right. Galen, you just saw something weird happen with Oreo. And one of the creatures between Tavok and Oreo is almost dead. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot. Yeah, I'll just shoot that one then. Oh, I can't actually hit that one through Devok, can I?
No, he's your ally. You can. If you miss, I think there's a chance of hitting Tavok, but you can still try. Or you can
I don't
move.
really want to.
You can move so
That's
that he's
true.
not in range or not blocking you at all.
Okay. Yeah, I'll move like right over here. I agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, no problem then.
Okay, let's finish that one off then. Hold on, the hell? I
30.
tried to like open up my character sheet, but it's doing something weird. It's fine. I found the button somehow. We're gonna make it work.
All right. The fire bolt hits in front of the creature, but does not hit it, unfortunately.
Oh well. I think that'll be the end of my turn then.
Fair enough. So creature one comes out and runs over to Oreo and attacks with its tentacles, both of which miss, and then attacks with its bite, which does hit. So, Oreo, you take 3 points of piercing damage, and you need to make a DC 13 Constitution save. You feel a little bit sick. You're not sure why, but you definitely aren't feeling good. And one of the things you notice is the wound where it bit you. It's bright red and hurts. Is that the end of your turn? Oh, no, that was you being attacked. Never mind. Sorry about that. All right, Pico, you can see that Oreo was bit, although she wasn't hurt too bad. But you're hurting bad, so what are you going to do?
Muted.
I think I'm going to take bear form.
Okay. You should be able to drag from Pico's animal forms right onto the map. Awesome.
I'll just park myself up there for the moment.
Yep. Fair enough.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attack this one with.
That's
I'll
a
go with a
bear.
bite on this.
Okay. You bite it for 6, but that's unfortunately it dodges out of the way.
Well, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and lumber over to creature 1 here, and I am going to try and claw it. What the hell?
Ooh.
Unfortunately, it sees this giant bear thing, which it's probably never seen before in its life, and it stays well out of your reach. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Ragu, you see this bear on the battlefield that used to be Pico. So what are you going to do?
I knew he had it in him. Char is going to fly straight over this way, giving me the help action, and then he's going to swoop over into the air out of the way so nobody can bite him.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm going to run up and swing away for all I am worth.
Fair enough. And you're
20.
worth a hit. All right.
8
Solid
slashing.
hit for 8 points of damage.
And then I'm going to follow it up with a punch.
Which also hits. For
8
another
more points.
8 points. A lot of damage and less than half health.
Wham, wham. That
That-
should be it for me.
Awesome. All right. Devok, you see the creature right in front of you with that's almost dead, 1/10 of his health. What are you going to do?
Shoot. Yeah, that is what I'll do. Actually, wait. I'm right next to it, huh? So I get disadvantage.
You would
Um,
normally, but you would also get advantage from flanking, which means it negates, and it's just a regular roll.
Do you have a melee attack?
Well, I have a crappy spear, but like,
You only have to do a couple of points of damage.
true. Can I do that
And you'd roll
instead?
with
I know I do.
advantage to hit.
Do you want to go back and do your spear instead? Or do you want to
Actually,
keep that?
to make it fair, advantage, I'll just roll once.
All right.
If that makes sense.
But since actually, no, it's a spear. You have advantage on this, so you get 2 rolls. Sorry about that. Yeah, just roll again.
I'm gonna count.
Because that 12 was
first
for the
roll.
Eldritch Blast, which we decided we're not doing. Your bonuses are different and everything. So yeah, just roll again.
Oh, that's true. They're different.
All right. So you managed to hit.
That hits.
Yep, that hits. Their AC is 15. And you take it out, and it collapses to the ground. And as it does so, you see kind of wiggling underneath its skin, but nothing else happens. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. Actually,
You can
I'm gonna
move.
move up this way.
Okay,
Not much is over.
fair enough. All right. The creature is... Well, it doesn't know any better. It's going to attack the bear. Alrighty, Mr. Bear. You get 2 tentacles, one of which hits, and a bite, which also hits. So that'll be 4 points of bludgeoning damage plus 3 points of piercing. It's for a total of 7 points of damage. And you have to make a DC 13 Constitution save.
Does that happen every time the bite lands, or just once in a day, or how
No,
does
it
that work?
happens when the a bite lands, but the effect of failing doesn't stack.
Okay.
All right, that's a success. All right, Ire, you see that one of the creatures is attacking the bear. Ragu is attacking another. What are you going to do?
Okay, take out my flail. Walk up to this guy here, creature 4. Actually, I'm gonna go right in the middle of it.
Slaughterbot.
And hit creature 4.
You have advantage because it's flanked.
You.
And because you have advantage, you
Good
hit.
thing I had advantage.
All right, you bludgeon it for 4 points of damage. And it is now at 1/3 of its health. What are you going to do? I mean, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right. So creature 4, it is surrounded. And it is... Actually, it's going to attack you, Ire. You're not sure why. But out of the 2 choices, you definitely get the sense that it is prioritizing you. So 2 tentacles, both of which miss, and its bite, which also misses. All right, Oreo, the creature in front of you is at full health. The one that's to the south got killed. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna get into a flanking position in front of, I think that's number 1, right?
Yeah.
And stab it first.
Yep. That's it.
That was
4 points, so you're going to add, okay, 10 points of damage. So that's
and then for
1/3 of
my
his health gone.
offhand- Yep, offhand, I'm gonna use my dagger on it.
Okay. That, unfortunately, is not a hit.
I'm going to stay put.
Fair enough. All right, Galen, you see the bears out, and creature 1 is at 1/3 health, or 2/3 health, and creature 4 is at 1/3 health. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna piss off creature 1 some more. Some fire.
You have advantage since it's flanked.
Oh, sweet. What I needed. Turn it on.
But even with advantage,
That
it manages
sucks.
to avoid your blast. Is that the end of your turn?
Oh well. I think Pico, is this actually you up here, or are you the bear?
He's the
I'm
bear.
the bear. That's just me parking my token out of the way.
Okay, and all these hit points are temporary. Do you want me to like heal you at some point? How do we want to play this? How does your health
Uh,
work?
of course, I guess the problem is I can't talk in bear form right now.
Oh, okay. Well, for the meantime, I'll move like 3 tiles closer to the fight then.
Fair enough. All right, creature 1, sensing that Oreo is the squishier target, goes after her. So 2 tentacles, both of which miss, and a bite, which also miss. So much for squishy target. All right, beginning of round 3. Pico, you're in bear form, and the 2 creatures around you have been hurt. What are you going to do?
I'm going to go ahead and attack creature 1. I'll start with the claws.
All right, so that's a hit. All right, so yeah, you smash into him for 9 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn?
Oh, I'm going to do the bite too, which I guess still misses.
Well, you got the claws, definitely good. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that'll do it.
All right, Ragu, the creature in front of you has 1/3 of its health. What are you going to do?
I'm just gonna go ahead and wail away. I've got advantage.
Yep, that's a hit. All right, you hit
Whammo.
him for 10 points, and it collapses to the ground dead. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm going to move 3 hex over here. 3, 4, 5. I can move 5 hex to right here.
Okay.
And with that being there, I can go ahead and just clock him as I run by. 18.
Yep, that's a hit. All
8
right,
points.
so you clock him for 8 points of damage.
And Char comes to here.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your turn?
It is.
All right, Devok, it looks like there are 2 more creatures visible. So what are you going to do?
Move again. I'll shoot creature 1.
Since they're both flanked, you have advantage either way.
Okay.
And that's a hit.
Okay.
That's good. Solid 10 points.
Nice.
Yep, and so it's nearly dead. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Alrighty, creature 3, thinking Ragu is the softer target, is going to attempt to kill him. With none of this hits hitting, as he tries to slap through 2 tentacles and a bite. All right, Ire, the creature directly in front of you is almost dead. What are you going to do?
Take him out, hopefully. Gonna walk up, hit creature 3.
Okay,
Pop.
that's a hit. And you manage to pulverize him into the dirt, into the rocks. Is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, Oreo, the creature in front of you has about 1/3 of his health. What are you going to do?
Stab it again.
That's a success. For 8 points of damage, almost enough to kill it, but not quite. And critical hit. Can you get at least 3 points of damage? No.
There's that.
It's still alive.
Yep, I stay put.
Alrighty. Alright, Galen, the creature between the giant bear and Oreo, you're pretty sure has 1 hit point left. What are you going to do?
Kill creature, hopefully.
Roll with advantage.
You do have
Yeah.
advantage. That's a hit, and it's dead. So, I'm going to go ahead and take you out of combat for now. And you see in the cave, you see that that these 4 oblong objects have been ripped apart. But you see further back in the cave, you see that there's 3 more that are still whole.
I let everybody else know not to get close because as soon as you're a certain distance, they sense you and they wake up.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
That's.
But I kind of want to see what those things are made out of. Should we like attack them
Maybe.
back?
Yeah.
Well,
Good
first of
idea.
all, who's good with medicine again? Because I got
That's
bitten
me.
and I don't know what the hell this is.
Oh, yeah, come here, come here. Let's do this. Let's do all this away from the trap or whatever the hell that is.
Sure.
I'll kind of
Did
take
the-
up a sentry position right here.
Fair enough.
Devak, do you have the hand of magic?
I do actually.
Maybe you could grab a little piece if it is all we're needing.
Good decision. I'm gonna do that. Mage hand.
Not yet, not yet. Let me heal first. Or if he's doing it, we're assuming story-wise it's after I use the healer's kit and whatnot.
Okay, go ahead and use your healer's kit.
Yeah. So this one will be for Oreo. So that's gonna be 8 plus your hit dice.
Okay.
And then Pico, after you are done being a bear, do you need some health?
Well, it's going to be a while. So, Oreo, one thing you notice that the healing the healer's kit, he managed to sew you up and bandage you, but the wound that one wound where you got bitten before is still extremely red and still hurts, despite
Yeah.
otherwise feeling fine.
I was gonna mention that. Could I do some medicine checks on like the wound and also inspecting the creatures to see what type of shit is going on here?
Yep, you can definitely make a medicine check and see what you can find out.
Okay, would apothecary be prevalent here or not really?
No,
Just
I think
straight
this
medicine?
I think this is just being medicine because apothecary is more toward
More
you know
like
making things
like-
like medicines and stuff.
yeah.
I'll
I was
go
just
ahead and
wondering
help
if there
I
was some
can.
way I could figure out how to treat it more effectively.
And Ragu, you can help, but only if you're proficient in medicine.
I'm not proficient in it, but
Or that goes for anybody else. Anybody else can help if they're proficient in medicine, except for Mr. Bear.
Anybody else proficient in medicine?
I'm proficient in nature, and I was honestly thinking it was investigating the dead body. But
No,
Oh,
it's
that's
more
a
about
separate
the
thing. Here
wound.
now, he's checking out Oreo. You can do your thing in a bit.
I'm gonna just see what I can. No, I have no clue what's going on.
Nope. You know that she's not feeling good, and there's something going on with that wound, but that's all you know.
All right, I'm gonna
Speaking of that,
check the
I do have a
body.
quick question.
Okay.
Is it? Could I tell if it was just the bite that has the con effect, or did the tentacle
It was
attacks
just
do
the bite.
it too?
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, you're pretty sure of that. All right, so that is what Galen is doing. I'm just going to put you down there, Galen, because that's what you're doing at the moment. So while he's doing that, because that's going to take maybe 10, 15 minutes, what are the rest of you doing?
I will go ahead and inspect the body without touching it to see what is going on with its wormy mouth and its wiggling dead corpse.
Okay. Yep, you check out the body, and what are you going to do to investigate it?
Well, either using a stick or a dagger so I don't touch it. I'm going to open its mouth, and then if I see wiggling under its skin, I'm going to slice in there with a dagger to see what's underneath it immediately, trying doing it as quickly as possible.
Okay, you do so. Go ahead and make a nature check. Or medicine, but you said you didn't have medicine. Okay, so yeah, you cut it open, and it seems like there's a bunch of worms throughout the creature that seem to act like parasites of some sort. And based on that, what you think probably happened is those parasites have made their way into Oreo.
Okay. I'll come over and tell Galen that we need to recheck her wound for these wormy little parasites. And can I help him do that?
Sure. So, Galen,
Okay.
you can go ahead and make a medicine check. You have advantage because you're being helped with a nature check as well. So go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yay!
All right. So
Better.
yeah, you open up the bandaging and you check her wounds, and you see that there are several of these worms, and I'm assuming that you try to take them out carefully, and you do so, but you get the feeling that some of them, based on their relatively small size and the way they're acting, that some of them have already entered deeper into her body.
There's probably eggs in there as well.
So,
Um,
unfortunately, let's see, you got a 20. You're thinking that you have to kill the parasites somehow. So
yeah.
there might be some sort of medicine that you can concoct with that, but that'll be a separate roll.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe there
I
are some
have botany
plants.
that can definitely help with that.
Yeah, let's check out these plants over here since it's really the only thing we have to go off of. If you don't mind getting close to the weird stone.
Oh,
Um,
since they're talking about the nearby plants, I'm curious to sniff around and see if any of these creatures avoided any of the plants
Okay,
or tend to me.
fair enough. Go ahead and make a survival check. You can use your original character survival for that. Okay, so you're going around, and
Although I was thinking kind of about sniffing around, it does say I get advantage on checks that rely on smell.
oh, fair enough. Go ahead and roll again then. All right, so yeah, you go and you check around, and as far as you can tell, there aren't any tracks or smells or anything like that, at least originating from these creatures going down that into this depression. You do see them going around the depression, but not going into it. Unfortunately, you're a bear, so are you planning to communicate this somehow?
Well, I guess before I do, one question is looking towards the back of the cave. Does it look like it goes further, or is it just like a small
It
thing?
looks like a small cave. It looks like they made some sort of lair out of it.
Do I see any evidence of anything interesting in there from here?
You see rocks and more of those oblong shapes, but that's all you can see from here.
Okay, I'll take a chance and just exit this form.
wait a second. Oh, never mind. I don't know what you're doing.
Okay. Well, I was sniffing around, and not that I've make much headway, but it looks like those creatures avoid the crystal for whatever reason.
Yeah, probably because it trades life for, or thought for life. I think it is dangerous. I do want to see those
Well,
plants, though. Maybe we
Actually,
what
can
would
yeah,
get.
happen if we put Oreo close to it briefly?
Yeah, maybe
Too
Yeah,
the
let's.
late. I'm
maggots
already
will
next
die.
to it. What
Grab
happened,
some,
Jeremy?
grab some plant while you're over there.
All right, so you approach, and as you approach, you notice that you're now a white cat with some black. Um, and as soon as you get that close, you hear a teeny voice in your head. Thought for life. So what do you do?
I look at the wound. Nothing changes or anything by chance.
No, the wound looks the same.
Grab some plants.
Yeah, I'm gonna start chopping off a couple of pieces of branch or the thing that's right at in front of me.
Okay. So you're cutting it with the knife. How are you doing that exactly?
Uh, yeah, I have a plain dagger that I got from one of the other like encounters we were in. I'm using that plain dagger to start with one hand, like just swinging and chopping it, kind of like if I'm in a farm or something, and just trying to cleave a
Okay, you chop
harvest or
off some
something.
plant, and it's sitting there.
I will use my cloak, kind of like a glove, or actually kind of like a basket.
Okay,
And then with the knife, I'm gonna put the plants into that basket.
fair enough.
And then I will keep a note of what I heard and I skedaddle myself out of it. There.
You notice as you leave that the multi-hued brambles just become normal brown brambles once you get out of the purple light.
Oh.
Hmm, that's annoying.
Yeah, I told that to Galen since that was kind of one of the things there.
Okay, thought for
Do I
life.
have
You
to
don't
make
want
an
to do
intelligence
that.
check, or would it be better for Galen to make a medicine check? But the medicine kit he has some stuff already with it, some salves or something like that, right?
Yeah,
And my herbalism kit has different herbs and stuff already with it, at least a few.
sure.
Putting those together, can we come up with a possible medication to help kill out the?
Good
And we
question.
also have the oil.
All right. Yeah, you guys can look at the stuff you have. Are you including the brambles in that consideration?
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't know what they are though. Can you do some herbalism on it to see what types of brambles they are?
Sure.
All right. So what I'm
Botany.
gonna have you do is basically taking all those ingredients, including the brambles. You're trying to figure out if you can concoct some sort of medicine out of that. So one of you can roll. You can either roll botany or you can roll apothecary. And whoever rolls, they have advantage if the other one's helping them.
I
All right.
have specifically apothecary. I can't say that word. I'm sorry.
Apothecary.
Yeah, that. I have 5 in that. If that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I,
So go ahead.
I have a 5 in botany too. So why don't we go ahead and use your apothecary, because that'll automatically make the medicine as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So with advantage.
Yep. I'm assuming Ragu's helping you.
Yes. Dope. Nice.
So you guys spend probably a good hour looking, basically testing your different ingredients versus Oreo's wound, and perhaps using perhaps using the bodies with the little, those little wiggly worms as tests, and eventually you figure out that if you use basically a pint of water and you boil the brambles, and then you add some miscellaneous things from a medicine kit, you can come up with a concoction that has a decent chance of curing Oreo. But at the end of the day, she'll have to make a Constitution check to see if her body is combined with that medicine is able to kill off the infection.
All right.
Does it mean that they have to make this entire medicine right next to the crystal the entire time?
No, the brambles seem to have the effect regardless of their color.
Okay.
So are you guys going to? It's going to take you probably about an hour to put all that together. So are you going to do that here, or are you going to wait until later?
Let's put it together now. It's probably best we get a head start on those maggots.
Can you make
Okay.
more than one dosage of that when
Yeah,
you
let's
make
make
it?
as many as we can.
So it's um, basically a day's worth of water for one person per dose. And you
So you're
guys
fading
can.
out, Jeremy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said it was a day's worth of water um, per dose. You got to have plenty of brambles to get, so you guys can decide how many doses to make based off of that.
Why don't we
Barely
make a
understand what you said.
Yeah? Why don't we make a few doses? It takes a whole day's worth of water for one person.
Right, because you're kind of boiling it down, and you're boiling it down to basically a small drink, but it takes a while to get through. It basically takes the whole hour worth of kind of boiling and working on it to get it to work.
And how much bramble do we need for each dosage?
Basically a handful, but again, there's plenty, so I'm assuming you guys can get that as you need it.
Okay. I'll say that I get enough for however many doses you guys feel like you guys want to do.
Okay. And you guys can do the multiple doses in parallel, so it takes an hour. But if you have multiple people working, you can basically be making multiple doses at the same time.
All right. How many doses did you want to make there, Galen? We can make 2 doses per hour, one each.
What do you have to use to make the doses?
1 day's
Just
worth of
some.
water.
Yeah,
Oh,
we need
what
to use some
skill?
water.
I mean, is that an herbalism thing? I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume here that you can give directions, so you've already made the skill roll. You don't have to make any more.
Because
well,
Pico
that'll help
has
too,
the
then.
herbalism too, so we can make 3 doses in 1 hour if we're making multiple doses.
Okay, so how many doses do you make in total?
3, I think, is probably good.
Okay, make sure to mark off the water from somebody. And Oreo, that takes about an hour. And before, when that hour passes roughly, before they're able to give you the medicine, you collapse on the ground from muscle cramps and pain. And then I'm assuming you guys give her the medicine afterward?
Yes, as soon as we get some.
All right. So you got some, and Oreo, you drink it. We're gonna see if it works. It's a DC 10 Constitution save.
Oh,
All right, it works easily, and you feel better pretty quickly for about a minute. Then you start barfing, and you see stuff wiggling, small little worm-like creatures wiggling in the barf, and then you feel a lot
Yay!
better.
thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I have an empty bottle that I am going to very carefully, without touching it, cut open one of the bodies and get some of these parasites into the bottle, then cap it and seal it with wax
Or
Okay.
so that it's nice and tight, and then I can mark that as a bottle of parasites.
Fair enough. You've done so. All right. So that's taken you a bit over an hour, and at this point in time, you've traveled for about one watch, or almost maybe 3 hours of a watch plus this hour. So one watch has passed, which means that it is about 10 o'clock in the morning. So what are you going to do?
Somebody heal Pico, please. That's been hanging around now for a while.
Yeah, he was going to do that after we made medicine for you. Yeah.
So we need to do that now.
Yeah.
Him and Ire.
Well, I've had worse days, although not by much.
All right. So what are you doing?
Galen, you got your medicine kit to heal up
Oh, he said
Nico
be
and
right
Iris?
back, I think.
Oh, never mind. So I guess in the interim.
All right. Do you want to continue or you just want to wait for Galen?
Well, I guess we can travel unless.
Okay.
We'll just assume he heals you, and
Yeah.
then when he comes back, he can make the appropriate rolls.
Alrighty. So at this point in time, you have moved 1 hex for the day, so you can move 1 more hex for this day.
Is there any way, in the way that we're going by hex that Oreo could, I don't know what check could be, but to learn what plants are common, if any, as they go along? I know it's kind of sparse and everything, but my idea is that if she can start learning some of the plant life that's around here for the sake of learning how to forage in this area.
Oh, that's fair.
That's,
You can't.
sounds like a nature or botany roll would work.
Yeah, I don't have botany, I've got foraging, so I don't have that. I need to figure out how to
Yeah, foraging is
get
fine.
to.
Yeah, let me.
But foraging to me almost gives me the sense that she's gonna be testing the stuff that she's gonna be looking at, and I don't want her to be testing any poison anytime soon. So I didn't know what other kind of check would work.
Well, you can definitely go through and find what plants you can find. And foraging is under survival. So one of the things we can say is that you're trying to determine what plants um, seem to be untouched versus plants that seem to be eaten by animals and that kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, go ahead
So
and move forward a hex. And Oreo, go ahead and make your foraging check.
is there any way that if somebody has proficiency in wisdom, they can help me with it, or is this my own kind of role?
I can
That seems
give
like
you
it should help because, I mean, that's something anybody else could kind of readily look at too. I know I've got survival.
Yep. So yeah, you can definitely get help. So what I would say is you'd probably need somebody specifically navigating, keeping track of what direction you're going, and that person's not going to be foraging, but somebody who's not navigating can certainly help.
Okay, so who in the group wants to help me?
That sucks because I thought I was going to be doing the navigating here.
Which you can. I
That's
mean,
fine. No, you're fine. Stay with navigating. What about Rugu? Are you gonna be navigating too, or can you? I think don't you have survival or you don't? Tyler,
Whom?
Sorry,
do you
I
have
can hardly hear you.
survival? Wait,
I do have nature, but I do not have navigation
survival.
as a.
No, we're not talking
yeah,
literally navigation rolls.
No, we're talking about whether you have survival so you can help me. Kiko's doing the navigating right now.
Okay, I do have nature.
Would nature help here,
yeah,
Tyler?
he can use nature to bolster your roll. So yeah, you would have advantage.
Sweet. Okay, that's all I needed. All right.
Okay, the DC was 18, which you passed quite well. And there isn't much, but you actually do find the occasional fruits. On some of the winding paths, you can see kind of a fruit, like a little fruit bush, kind of tucked
Do I
under.
know these fruits, or are these fruits that I can now name because it's not discovered?
You don't know the fruits. You do know they look like small red fruits that are somewhat squishy, and you're relatively confident it's safe because you've seen some small animals uh, biting into these, and so you think it's fairly safe, although you can't be sure, obviously. And yeah, you will be able to name them. And as you're traveling, one of the things you notice is that the shape of the terrain uh, seems to affect the wind. You can hear the wind howling through, and based on whichever hills or rocks you go behind, the wind blows various different directions, and so a lot of the plants seem to be in recessed areas of rock that are protected from the wind. And yeah, you were able to find some fruits, and you were able to find enough fruit to feed 4 people.
Sweet. Okay. Is that
Uh,
considered like a ration for the day, or what is it gonna be
yeah,
considered?
you basically find enough to feed 4 people for one day.
So I can feed everybody for this first day essentially with well not everybody, sorry, 4 people with it this
Yeah.
first day, for example. Okay.
Um, and whoever's doing navigating, which I guess is Pico, I'm going to go ahead and have you make a navigation check, which will probably, unless you have a special skill, will probably be survival. Okay, so you hold on. Do. All right, so yeah, you're navigating, and you yeah you travel for a while, and you think you're going the right way, and then eventually you come across the sun starts to go down, and you notice here that the sun actually goes down rather than just changing. And yeah, the sun starts going down, and it starts getting dark. To back, and then you find yourselves um, in a sort of clearing in the rocks. And I'm going to put your character down eventually. One Devok. And why am I having trouble? There we go. There we go. Sorry about that.
One of those is obviously his hand.
There you go.
Oh, Galen, we needed you to roll medicine for healing Pico. Now that you're back,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
sure.
ire.
I can't heal ire.
Can
But
I
I
heal
will.
ire with my tinker tools?
Your tinker tools aren't really enough to trigger his repair system, and the technology is beyond your grasp to repair. So you can use them to stabilize them, but you cannot use them to actually do repairs.
Oh, that's not good. Pico, you only get 5 plus your max hit dice, I think.
Is that including
Right.
your never rolling a 1 bonus?
Uh, no, it wasn't. Forgot about that. Thank you. 6 plus your hit die thing.
Anyway, so yeah, you arrive and you can see that there are cliffs and hills and rocks all around you. The terrain has been rather difficult to get through. Fortunately, the mule is rather stubborn, and your cart has managed to arrive, but the rest of you aren't used to this kind of difficult terrain. So I'm going to need everybody to make a Constitution save to see if you gain a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
So you need a DC 10 Constitution save.
Thank God.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh, fuck.
So Devok, on the front of your sheet, you should see the list of exhaustion levels, and so just go ahead and mark yourself up to 1. Fortunately, when you take a short rest, you can, if you make a DC 10 Constitution check, you can reduce the number of levels of exhaustion by 1. So you might actually be able to sleep it off.
Cool.
Alrighty, so you're tired. What are you guys going to do?
Um, can I use mold earth? I want to try and do some excavating.
All right, yeah, you go to use mold earth, and most of the ground is rather hard and rocky. However, there are some areas where you can see little sprouts, little plants sticking out, um, and there's even a tree of sorts, although it looks like it's seen better days. Anyway, around those areas, there is enough dirt that you can get a couple of cubic feet worth of dirt from there without too much difficulty. If you want to get further, then you have to start digging up rocks, which will take more time.
It's underneath the tree roots might
Yeah,
make for a
exactly. There's some
stable
dirt
roof.
around the tree. There's a little bit of dirt around the plants. So he can get a couple of cubic feet pretty easily, and then it gets harder
Yeah,
after that.
what I was trying to get at was that the tree roots themselves would make a very good stable ceiling or roof. Less chance of collapse.
Now, so this rough surface isn't just the surface. Is it permeating this whole thing, or?
You can get underneath the rocks, but then, like I said, it takes time to actually kind of dig up the rocks to get to the dirt.
Well, I only need to clear a few hexes for that.
Yeah, if you're just taking the top layers, that you can do that without too much issue.
Now, just to be clear, the reason I'm concerned about the top layers at all is I'm hoping to get to a softer spot where I can do more thorough excavating downward. Is that possible?
He wants to dig like a tunnel or a hole.
Okay,
And that's why I suggested the tree, because if you dig under the tree, then the tree roots will act as a natural scaffolding for the
I see.
roof,
Yeah,
so
you
it
can
won't
definitely
collapse.
dig underneath the tree. That'll work because the tree has to have a fairly decent amount of dirt to grow. So you can do it there.
Okay, well, in that case, I want to start using mold earth to excavate a bunker big enough for us all to sleep in.
Okay, so you start digging under the tree, and then you make this tunnel. It's a tight fit. You're definitely not going to be able to fit the wagon in there, but it is enough that people can squeeze in there.
All right, well, we'll probably want to unload the supplies and keep them inside for the night. Can we get the mule down there at least?
You're probably going to have a lot of trouble with that because the mule is definitely not going to want to go down a fairly small and steep hole.
All right, well, that's fine.
Well, we can try and force him down there if necessary.
Well, keep in mind if he injures us in the process, and then we have to
Yeah,
get him back out of the thing.
that's true. That's true. Well, we're still going to have a guard, so we can still have the guard, watch the mule.
Can I use animal handling with some help to maybe coax it to come down there much more nicely?
I don't think so. I think it's one of those situations where the animal's just not going to do it unless you can completely mind control it.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, you it takes you a little bit, but you do dig out your bunker.
All right. Well, in that case, yeah, get the supplies in there, and should be good.
All right, so you guys are going to try to sleep then?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you guys make your way down. You got a bunker, so it's relatively warm. Even though as night fell, you noticed that outside it got rather chilly. And
Hey, donkey, pretend your hides in plain sight.
everybody takes a normal short rest. And during a short rest, let me bring up the thing. There was a couple of things you can do. Let me see, campaign rules. So yeah, so you can You can spend 1 hit die to gain back a spell slot at 5th level or lower, but obviously you can't use the hit die for healing. You can make a DC 10 con save in order to reduce your exhaustion level by 1. You'll probably want to do this, Devok, assuming you have sufficient food and water for the day. And yeah, I guess that's it. So, all right. So Devok is still exhausted the next day. He just doesn't sleep well, and it's been a rather difficult trek. And being a mage and a cleric, you just haven't seen this kind of terrain or this kind of rough terrain and activity for quite some time, if ever.
Well, I would wake up a bit earlier, and have a chat with the ghost of whomever Devok stole from that grave and learn medicine for proficiency by
Fair
next
enough.
morning.
All right. All right. So you learn medicine, and you wake up the next day, and it is
Now,
day.
so who's using scavenge rations, or are we holding to those?
I can give I will try the fruit for myself because I'm just curious for it. But I let everybody else know that there's 3 other pieces of fruit you want to try it out if you like, or if you're too scared, then I can just hold them all.
I will eat a fruit.
So you find out that the fruit is it's a bit squishy, and it's pretty sour and tart, but otherwise is fairly flavorful.
Okay. So Galen, you say you took one?
Yep.
Anybody else? I've got 2 left.
I'll try one.
Ragu, 1 left.
Should we save one as a sample if people are doing the botany thing? Plants and stuff?
That might depend on how long they keep.
Okay. Good
So
idea.
I'll hold one just to see how it kind of expires in the next couple of days. Maybe I can find more along the way.
Sure. What did you name them again?
Not sure just yet, but I've got a couple already thinking. I'll come up with it'll be official by next session, okay?
What did they taste like
Okay.
again?
Sour and tart. But I'm not going off of that.
Doom
So
lemon.
yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take you back to the map so you can kind of see where where we're at, and I think we'll go ahead and end the session. But you can see on the map before we do that you can see the portal marked, you can see the world crystal marked, and and you can see how much you've explored. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and set up the experience points. Session XP, session 7. Come on. Sorry about that.
Just to be clear though, there was only 3 of us that took the fruit, so the rest of you guys that didn't eat it, just take off of your rations or whatever.
Yep, already did.
And obviously everybody will have to take off water as well.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, if who took off the water for the doses?
The 3
Did
doses.
anybody did? Yeah. If not, I'll take one off of mine to at least account for my antidote. But anybody else take anything off for the other
I've got
2?
a day of water marked off.
Okay, so one more person.
I'll go
All right,
ahead
I
and do
got
it.
2 days of water marked off.
I can mark off. Says, so how much are we missing for the cures? Because I could mark off stuff for that. Because right now I just have a water skin marked, no ration, because I ate the berries, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
So
So,
how many
go ahead.
do we
Just
need to
mark
mark
off
off?
an extra water.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
I'll mark
I'm
off
taking
next
one off of mine, so that accounts for my own antidote.
Got it. I've marked it.
Oreo, you failed once or twice.
I think only once.
And then Pico, you failed once or twice. I don't remember.
The ones that I know. Wait, no, yeah, once for sure I failed the tack rolls in bear form.
Okay. And Ragu, did you fail at all?
I'm trying to remember.
Now,
Devok
Oreo,
did.
did you fail any
Definitely.
attacks?
What?
Did you fail any attacks?
No, I don't
Trying to
believe
remember.
so. I only failed the saving throw with the poison.
Okay, yeah, I got that written down.
All right. So here's the session experience. So 210 total, 120 from encounters, and 90 from exploration. As far as I know, Devok certainly failed more than twice, so he gets 60. Ragu, I don't
Wait a
think.
second. Does Char count?
I don't think Char failed. He
No,
just
because that wasn't
died.
a roll. That was.
Yeah, he just like
Yeah,
squished in
that
one
doesn't count.
go.
No, it's learning, basically failing your role with consequences.
I do not recall if I did or not. I'd have to review.
Okay, so for now, we'll just put that as 0. So anyway, so
Okay.
everybody gets 210 experience, except plus the failures, which are currently should be on your screen.
Yep.